Imagine a world where the outcast, guided by the great sage, held the power of a demon lord. What if Naruto, with a supercomputer in his mind, could analyze and copy any jutsu instantly with Predator? Witness the shinobi world tremble as gluttony meets the will of a ninja.
Blood pooled beneath 6-year-old Naruto Uzumaki's broken body, mixing with the rain-soaked filth of the Konoha alleyway. His ribs screamed with every shallow breath, 3 broken, maybe 4. His left arm bent at an angle that made his stomach churn. The mob had been particularly vicious tonight, celebrating the anniversary of the Kyuubi's attack by taking their hatred out on the vessel himself. I'm going to die here, Naruto thought, vision blurring. Alone, in the dark, like I don't even matter. Pain consumed everything. His small fingers clawed at the mud, searching for something, anything, to anchor himself to life. He didn't want to die. He wanted the pain to stop. He wanted someone, anyone, to care. He wanted the power to make them all see him as more than a monster. Please, he begged silently. Someone, something, help me. The world went dark. Then, open quote. The voice echoed in his mind, cold and analytical, utterly emotionless. Before Naruto could process what he'd heard, warmth flooded through his broken body. The agony vanished instantly, like someone had flipped a switch. Naruto gasped, eyes flying open. He could still feel his broken bones, the torn flesh, but it didn't hurt. The pain existed somewhere distant, acknowledged but not experienced. What? Naruto whispered, his voice cracking. Who's there? Close quote. I am now an intrinsic part of your being. I will provide analysis, tactical support, and assistance in all matters. Naruto's mind reeled. A voice in his head. A skill. This had to be a hallucination from blood loss, except his arm was moving. He watched in stunned silence as the bone shifted beneath his skin, realigning itself with wet, crunching sounds. Flesh knitted together. Bruises faded from purple-black to yellow-green to nothing. You're real? He asked, pushing himself up on trembling arms. For the first time in his short, miserable life, Naruto wasn't alone. Someone, something was talking to him, answering him, helping him. Tears mixed with the rain on his face. Thank you, he whispered. Over the next hour, huddled in that dark alley while his body completed its impossible recovery, Great Sage explained everything. The unique skill Predator allowed him to consume anything, objects, creatures, people, and absorb their properties, abilities, and knowledge. The skill had a stomach space for storage, could analyze consumed targets, and even mimic their forms. Great Sage itself provided thought acceleration. His mind could now process information thousands of times faster than normal humans. Parallel processing let him think multiple thought streams simultaneously. Analysis and assessment gave him the ability to understand anything he examined, and dozens of other sub-abilities that made his head spin. So I can eat things and get their powers? Naruto asked, staring at his now healed hands. Naruto's eyes hardened beyond his years. He'd been a target his whole life, but now he had the power to do something about it. Then I won't tell anyone, he decided. Only you and me. We'll get stronger together. For the first time, Naruto smiled. The next 3 months transformed Naruto completely. Under Great Sage's guidance, he discovered the full extent of his abilities. He started small, consuming trash in the alley, analyzing its composition. Then insects, then rats. Each consumption added something new. His senses sharpened. His body grew stronger. Great Sage cataloged everything in his stomach space, creating a vast internal library of materials and abilities. But the real breakthrough came when Naruto snuck into the Forest of Death. The training ground 44 was forbidden to civilians and academy students for good reason. It was filled with creatures that could kill even Chunin. Naruto should have been terrified. Instead, with Great Sage's analytical ability scanning for threats and directing him toward manageable prey, he was excited. How do I fight it? Naruto whispered, crouching in the undergrowth. The centipede emerged from its burrow, mandibles clicking. Naruto waited until it passed, then lunged forward, both hands slapping against its chitinous shell. Predator! Black tendrils erupted from his palms, wrapping around the creature. It thrashed violently, but the tendrils pulled it inexorably toward Naruto's hands. The centipede dissolved into black particles and vanished into his body. That was amazing, Naruto laughed, feeling power surge through him. They did. Over months of secret nighttime excursions, Naruto consumed dozens of creatures. Giant spiders gave him sticky thread generation and wall walking. Poisonous snakes added various venoms and heat sensing. A bear granted him enhanced strength and durability. Each predation made him stronger, faster, more capable. But the most significant change was mental. Great Sage's thought acceleration meant Naruto could think through problems with incredible speed. It analyzed every situation, provided tactical options, and taught him strategy. The bumbling, attention-seeking child began to fade, replaced by someone calculating and precise. "You're making me smarter," Naruto observed one night, reading through a scroll he'd acquired from the ninja library. That revelation hit harder than any mob beating. All those times, the academy instructors ignored his questions, sabotaged his learning, told him he was a failure. It had been intentional. Not because he couldn't learn, but because they didn't want him to. "Then I'll show them," Naruto said quietly, blue eyes blazing with determination. "I'll become so strong they can't ignore me. So powerful they have to acknowledge me." Entering the Ninja Academy at age 7 should have been exciting. For Naruto, it was merely the next phase of his plan. He'd spent a year training in secret, growing stronger, learning everything Great Sage could teach him. Now it was time to operate in the open, carefully. The key was balance. Be good enough to avoid suspicion, but not so exceptional that people asked questions he couldn't answer. Show steady improvement that could be attributed to hard work. Now hide the true extent of his abilities behind a mask of competence. "All right, class, we'll begin with the basic taijutsu kata," Iruka-sensei announced on the first day. Naruto watched the demonstration once, Great Sage analyzing every movement. No, Naruto thought back, having learned he could communicate mentally with Great Sage. "Show me how to do it their way, but perfectly. We can't let them know." When Naruto's turn came, he performed the kata flawlessly. Not enhanced, not improved, just perfectly executed, standard technique. Iruka's eyes widened slightly. "Well done, Naruto," he said, genuine surprise in his voice. It was the first compliment Naruto had ever received from the teacher. He smiled, but inside he was already thinking 3 steps ahead. The other students ranged from adequate to exceptional. Sasuke Uchiha, last survivor of his clan's massacre, performed with mechanical precision. Hinata Hyuga, shy and stammering, nonetheless showed the refined technique of a clan heiress. Shikamaru Nara barely tried, but still demonstrated solid fundamentals when he bothered. Great Sage reported, "Yes, but not now. Catalog everyone. We'll need to know their capabilities." The weeks blurred together. Naruto excelled at everything physical. His body, enhanced by dozens of consumed creatures, far exceeded normal human limits, though he carefully throttled his performance to merely talented, rather than impossible. Theory was even easier. Great Sage's parallel processing meant he could read entire textbooks in minutes and retain every word perfectly. But he played the part, asked questions he already knew the answers to, made occasional mistakes to seem human, stayed in the upper middle tier of the class rankings, never threatening Sasuke's position as top student. "You're holding back," Shikamaru observed one day, too smart for his own good. They'd been paired for a strategy exercise, and Naruto had deliberately made a suboptimal move. "What makes you say that?" Naruto asked carefully. "Because the Naruto who performed perfectly on the first day doesn't suddenly forget basic tactics." Shikamaru's eyes were sharp despite his lazy posture. "You're hiding something." "Maybe I just don't want to stand out too much," Naruto said quietly. "You know how the village feels about me." Shikamaru's expression flickered with understanding and pity. "Troublesome," he muttered, then let it drop. Crisis averted. But it was a reminder that Naruto couldn't afford to be careless, even at the academy. The real training happened at night. While his classmates slept, Naruto prowled the forest of death, hunting progressively more dangerous prey. Naruto had grown since his first hunt. His body was faster, stronger, reinforced by accumulated abilities. But more importantly, he started developing actual techniques. "Sticky thread," he whispered, and gossamer strands shot from his fingertips, anchoring to trees around the scorpion. The creature lunged, but Naruto was already moving, using the threads to pull himself into the air. Paralysis breath. A cloud of vapor sprayed from his mouth, and the scorpion's movement slowed, muscles locking up. Naruto descended, hand outstretched. Predator. The black tendrils consumed the scorpion entirely. Getting easier every time, Naruto noted. That was the truth. The academy taught 3 basic jutsu: Henge, Kawarimi, and Bunshin. Useful, but limited. Naruto needed more. Then we'll get more, he decided. The library has restricted sections. We just need to get in. How do we evolve it? The answer came unexpectedly 2 months later. A messenger hawk crash-landed in the Forest of Death during one of Naruto's hunts, injured by a predator. The bird carried dispatches between villages, but more importantly, it was a ninkin, infused with chakra and trained in minor transformation jutsu to evade threats. Naruto hesitated only a moment. The hawk was suffering, beyond saving. "I'm sorry," he whispered, then activated Predator. Power surged through Naruto's body. His form rippled, and for a moment, he felt like he could be anything, anyone. Transformations are now perfect and undetectable by standard sensory methods. "Perfect," Naruto whispered, grinning. "Now we can really get started." Naruto, transformed into a perfect copy of a chunin he'd observed and analyzed for weeks, walked through the Hokage Tower at midnight. Perfect mimicry replicated not just appearance but chakra signature, scent, even muscle memory of movement. To anyone who saw him, he was Chunin Taru, working late on reports. The archive guard nodded at Taru as he passed. "Working late again? You know how it is," Naruto replied in Taru's voice. Endless paperwork. Inside, Naruto dropped the transformation. No point wasting energy when alone. The archives contained thousands of scrolls, mission reports, jutsu catalogs, historical records, exactly what he needed. Naruto pulled scrolls methodically, and Great Sage began analyzing them at superhuman speed. He didn't need to practice the jutsu yet, just understand them. Great Sage would deconstruct each technique, understand its principles, and store the knowledge for later implementation. Within an hour, he'd analyzed 47 jutsu scrolls, ranging from basic elemental manipulation to intermediate combat techniques. Not enough for mastery, but enough for understanding. "Can we do all 5 elements?" Naruto asked mentally. The Kyuubi. Great Sage had detected the seal within hours of awakening, but had advised against interacting with it. The fox's chakra was powerful, but corrosive, dangerous. Still, it was a resource, and resources should be utilized. What about the fox's chakra? Can we use it safely? Do it. Start converting as much as you can without alerting the fox. Naruto felt a slight warmth in his gut as Great Sage began the process. The Kyuubi had been sealed inside him to make him a weapon for the village. Now Naruto would use that power on his own terms, for his own purposes. He returned the scrolls carefully, left the archives, and transformed back into Taru for the exit. The guard never suspected a thing. Academy life continued its mundane pace, but Naruto's nighttime activities accelerated. With Great Sage's guidance, he began learning true shinobi techniques. Elemental manipulation came first. "Focus your chakra. Imagine it taking on the properties of wind," Great Sage instructed during a midnight training session in an isolated training ground. "Wind is cutting, slicing, the sharpest of elements." Naruto held out his palm, concentrating. His chakra, normally blue, began to shimmer and shift. A small whirlwind formed above his hand, growing sharper, more defined. "Only 34%, Naruto frowned. "Most genin require months to achieve even 20% conversion. Continue practice. I will optimize your chakra pathways over time." Over weeks, his conversion rate climbed, 40%, 55%, 68%. But wind was just the beginning. Great Sage had him work on all 5 basic natures simultaneously using parallel processing. One part of his mind on wind, another on water, a third on fire, and so on. It should have been impossible. It was impossible for normal people. But Naruto wasn't normal anymore. Fire came last and hardest, requiring 3 weeks of intensive practice. "What about combining them?" Naruto asked. "Advanced releases like ice or wood?" That was the other part of his growing power. Naruto had begun visiting the memorial stone regularly, noting the names of fallen Konoha shinobi. Then, late at night, he'd slip into the village cemetery. Naruto stared at the gravestone, feeling a twinge of guilt. But this person was already dead. Taking what remained wouldn't harm them further, and the power could be used to protect the living. He dug carefully, quietly. The casket was simple, the body decomposed but still analyzable. Naruto placed his hand on the remains. Predator. Partially was better than nothing. Naruto felt something shift in his eyes, a potential waiting to be awakened. He'd need more samples, but the cemetery held dozens of Uchiha graves. Over the next months, he visited them all. When Naruto activated the Sharingan for the first time, looking at his reflection in a pond, he saw crimson eyes with single black tomoe staring back. The world became clearer, sharper. He could see the flow of chakra in the trees around him, distinguish individual leaves on branches hundreds of meters away. This is incredible, Naruto breathed. What else can we get? The cemetery yielded more treasures. A Hyuga branch member gave him partial Byakugan genetics, not enough for the full dojutsu, but enough to enhance his perception and chakra vision. An Aburame provided insect manipulation fundamentals. A deceased Inuzuka improved his already enhanced senses further. Each predation added another piece to his growing arsenal. But Naruto was careful, strategic. He only took from the dead, only from graves that wouldn't be disturbed or noticed. He left no evidence, no traces. To the village, he was just another academy student, working hard but unremarkable. Then came the incident that changed everything. Mizuki-sensei had always been subtle in his hatred. Unlike others who were openly hostile, he smiled, acted friendly, and undermined Naruto in ways that seemed like accidents. Great Sage had flagged him as a threat months ago. So when Mizuki approached Naruto after class one day with a friendly smile, every alarm in Naruto's head went off. Naruto, can I talk to you for a moment? Mizuki asked, glancing around conspiratorially. Sure, Mizuki-sensei, Naruto replied, playing his role perfectly. I've noticed you working really hard lately, Mizuki said. You want to be a great ninja, right? To be acknowledged? More than anything, Naruto answered truthfully. Well, I know a secret. There's a scroll in the Hokage's office, the Forbidden Scroll. It contains powerful jutsu that can make you incredibly strong. If you could learn even one technique from it, you'd definitely graduate, maybe even surpass Sasuke. Naruto let none of his analysis show on his face. Instead, he looked excited, eager. Really? But wouldn't that be stealing? Think of it as an extra credit assignment, Mizuki said smoothly. I'll tell the Hokage it was a special test I designed. You won't get in trouble, I promise. Just take the scroll to the old shrine in the forest, and I'll meet you there to supervise your training. Agreed, Naruto thought. Let's spring his trap. Okay, Naruto said with manufactured enthusiasm. I'll do it. That night, Naruto infiltrated the Hokage Tower. He didn't need Mizuki's instructions. He'd done this before. The real challenge was making it look like a clumsy academy student's break-in rather than a professional infiltration. He knocked over a chair, stepped on a creaky floorboard, left footprints in obvious places, made it just sloppy enough that it seemed like a child's attempt while still succeeding. The Forbidden Scroll was massive, easily as tall as Naruto himself. He grabbed it and fled, leaving just enough of a trail that he'd be tracked but not caught immediately. At the old shrine, Naruto unrolled the scroll and let Great Sage begin analyzing it immediately. We don't have 3 hours, Naruto muttered. Mizuki will be here soon, and probably Anbu after that. Naruto read through the technique description, and Great Sage deconstructed it in real time. Naruto formed the cross-shaped seal. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Chakra surged, and 50 perfect copies of Naruto popped into existence around the shrine. 50 clones is nothing then, Naruto grinned. Great Sage, if each clone gains experience and returns it when they disperse. Open quote, Naruto. Iruka's voice called from the forest. I know you're here. Return the scroll. That's enough, Naruto decided. He'd gotten what he needed. Now for the next phase. Mizuki emerged from the opposite side of the clearing, that false smile still in place. Well done, Naruto. You actually succeeded. Now hand over the scroll. Mizuki-sensei? Iruka looked confused. What are you doing here? Isn't it obvious? Mizuki's smile turned cruel. I'm collecting my prize. Did you really think that demon brat came up with this plan himself? Demon? Naruto repeated, letting hurt color his voice. Easy enough. He'd felt that pain for real countless times. That's right, Mizuki laughed. You want to know why everyone hates you, Naruto? 6 years ago, the 4th Hokage didn't kill the Kyuubi. He sealed it into a newborn baby. Into you! You're the 9-tailed fox, the monster that killed their families. Iruka's eyes widened in horror, not at the revelation, but at Mizuki's betrayal of the secret. Mizuki, stop! That's classified. Shut up, Iruka. He deserves to know what he really is. Mizuki pulled out a giant shuriken. And I deserve that scroll. Once I deliver it to Orochimaru, I'll have power beyond imagining. The pieces fell into place instantly. Naruto let tears well in his eyes, false ones but convincing. I'm the monster? No. Iruka jumped between Naruto and Mizuki. You're not the Kyuubi, Naruto. You're Naruto Uzumaki, a student of the Leaf Village. How touching, Mizuki sneered, hurling the massive shuriken. Die together, then. Events unfolded exactly as predicted. Iruka took the shuriken in his back, blood spraying. He collapsed, protecting Naruto with his body. Iruka-sensei. Naruto's cry was genuine this time. Iruka had protected him, actually protected him. Run, Naruto, Iruka gasped. Get away. No. Naruto stood, and something in his voice made both Mizuki and Iruka freeze. The tears were gone. His eyes were cold, calculating. I'm done running. Oh, Mizuki grinned, pulling out kunai. What's a failed academy student going to do? Naruto's hands blurred through seals. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. The clearing exploded with smoke. When it cleared, 1,000 Naruto clones filled the forest, surrounding Mizuki completely. What? Mizuki stumbled back. That's impossible. That jutsu requires more chakra than a normal person has. Naruto's voice came from everywhere at once. Good thing I'm not normal. Get him. 1,000 Narutos moved as one. Mizuki didn't stand a chance. He managed to destroy maybe 30 clones before fists, kicks, and tackles overwhelmed him completely. Bones cracked. He screamed. When the clones dispersed, Mizuki lay broken and unconscious in a crater of destroyed earth. Naruto stood over him, not even breathing hard. Naruto. Iruka stared, awestruck. That was incredible. Are you okay, sensei? Naruto knelt beside Iruka and his hands began to glow with soft green light, medical ninjutsu learned from scrolls and perfected by great sages' guidance. Close quote, close quote. You know medical ninjutsu too? Iruka watched in amazement as his wound began to close. I've been studying on my own, Naruto said carefully. Had to. Nobody else would teach me. Iruka's expression crumbled with guilt. Naruto, I'm sorry. I knew about the Kyuubi, but I should have helped you more. I should have. It's okay, Naruto interrupted. You protected me tonight. That's more than anyone else has ever done. Anbu appeared moments later, surrounding the scene. Their leader, a cat-masked operative, assessed the situation quickly. Iruka, status report. Mizuki attempted to steal the Forbidden Scroll using Naruto as an unwitting accomplice, Iruka explained, now mostly healed. When his treachery was revealed, he attacked us both. Naruto defended us using the Kage Bunshin and defeated him. Cat's mask tilted toward Naruto. You learned a forbidden jutsu in one night and defeated a Chunin instructor? Yes, Naruto answered simply. The Hokage will want to see you, Cat said finally. Both of you. Bring the scroll. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, looked ancient and exhausted sitting behind his desk at 2 a.m., but his eyes sharpened when Naruto and Iruka entered. Explain, he said simply. Iruka gave his report. Naruto confirmed it. Neither mentioned Naruto's medical jutsu. In the chaos, the Anbu hadn't noticed. You learned the Kage Bunshin in one night, Hiruzen repeated, studying Naruto, and created enough clones to overwhelm a Chunin. Yes, Hokage-sama. Do you understand what this means? The Kage Bunshin is forbidden not because it's evil, but because it requires enormous chakra. Most people would kill themselves attempting it. I have a lot of chakra, Naruto said with a shrug. Always have. Figured I might as well use it. Hiruzen's eyes crinkled with something like pride. Indeed, Naruto, what Mizuki told you tonight about the Kyuubi? Naruto interrupted. I figured it out a while ago, actually. Why else would everyone hate me? I'm not stupid. The Hokage looked surprised. You knew? Not for certain until tonight, but the timing was obvious. My birthday, the Kyuubi's attack, everyone's hatred, it wasn't hard to connect the dots. Naruto met the Hokage's eyes steadily. But I'm not the fox, I'm just the cage holding it. That is remarkably mature of you, Hiruzen said quietly. Can't afford not to be, Naruto replied. Not in this village. Silence stretched. Finally, Hiruzen sighed. Naruto, you've proven yourself tonight. You protected a comrade, defeated a traitor, and showed remarkable skill. Therefore, I'm granting you an early graduation from the academy. Thank you, Hokage-sama, Naruto bowed. However, Hiruzen continued, You will undergo a probationary period with special supervision. Your team assignment will be unique. Report to Training Ground 7 tomorrow at 8 a.m. And Naruto, the Hokage's expression grew serious. I'm sorry for not protecting you better, for allowing the village to treat you as they have. That ends now. It was probably the most sincere apology Naruto had ever received. He nodded, accepting it. Outside, dawn was breaking over Konoha. Naruto walked home through empty streets, and Great Sage spoke quietly in his mind. Agreed. What can we do with the Kage Bunshin? Create clones, assign each a different training task. When they disperse, all knowledge returns to you simultaneously. You can train in a year what takes others decades. Naruto grinned. Then let's get started. Training Ground 7 looked ordinary enough, a clearing with 3 wooden posts and a memorial stone. Naruto arrived exactly at 8 a.m., but his supposed sensei was nowhere to be seen. 3 hours later, a silver-haired jonin appeared in a swirl of leaves, reading an orange book with a bored expression. Yo, he said. Sorry I'm late. A black cat crossed my path, so I had to take the long way. You're late, Naruto said flatly. Ma, such hostility. Kakashi's visible eye curved in a smile. Well, before we begin, why don't you tell me about yourself? Likes, dislikes, dreams, hobbies? I like training and getting stronger, Naruto said. I dislike people who judge others without knowing them. My dream is to become powerful enough that no one can ever hurt me or the people I care about again. Hobbies are studying jutsu and hunting. Kakashi blinked. Hunting? In the forest of death. Good training. Naruto said it casually, but he watched Kakashi's reaction carefully. I see, Kakashi said slowly. Well, that's certainly unusual for an academy student, or former academy student, I suppose. Early graduation is quite rare. So is having the 9 tails sealed in you, Naruto replied evenly. I work with what I've got. Kakashi's eye widened. You know about. Everyone knows, apparently. Mizuki made sure of that. Naruto shrugged. Doesn't matter. I'm not the fox. I'm me. Indeed. Kakashi studied Naruto with new interest. You're quite different from what I expected. What did you expect? A bumbling idiot who can't tie his shoes? Perhaps. Sorry to disappoint. On the contrary, Kakashi said, eye crinkling again, you're far more interesting this way. Now about your team, you'll be working solo for now. Consider this an extended evaluation period. I'll train you personally. Just us? Naruto asked. Just us. I'll be assessing whether you're ready for the field. We'll start with a proper test, the real Genin exam. Kakashi pulled out 2 bells. Your task is simple. Take these bells from me before noon. Use any means necessary. Come at me with intent to kill, or you won't stand a chance. Can we win? No, I'm tired of hiding. Let's see what we can really do. Naruto's hands moved through seals. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. 50 clones exploded into existence, immediately spreading out to surround Kakashi. The Jonin's eye widened. That many? Impressive chakra control for? The clones attacked from all angles. Kakashi weaved through them effortlessly, destroying clones with casual strikes. But Naruto wasn't done. Futon Repusho! Wind-released chakra erupted from 20 clones simultaneously, creating a devastating vortex. Kakashi was forced to substitute with a log, appearing on a tree branch. Wind release? Kakashi's surprise was genuine now. Since when do Genin have elemental manipulation? Naruto didn't answer. Instead, he activated his Sharingan, just one Tomoe, carefully controlled. Kakashi froze. That's how do you have? Does it matter? Naruto asked, and his clones resumed the assault. But now Naruto could see Kakashi's movements more clearly. The Sharingan predicted trajectories, analyzed patterns. Great Sage processed the information even faster. Clones scatter, Naruto ordered just as Kakashi burst from the ground, attempting to grab his ankle. Naruto had already moved, using wind chakra to boost his speed. Naruto's hands blurred. Suiton, Mizurappa! A pressurized water stream shot from his mouth. Kakashi dodged, but now he looked genuinely engaged. Wind and water release, Sharingan, Kage Bunshin mastery, medical ninjutsu. Yes, I checked with Iruka about last night, Kakashi said, pulling up his headband to reveal his own Sharingan. Just what are you, Naruto? A survivor, Naruto answered. The fight intensified. Kakashi's Sharingan met Naruto's, and suddenly it became a battle of perception and prediction. Kakashi had experience and skill, but Naruto had Great Sage calculating probabilities and outcomes in real time. Open quote, 20 more clones appeared. These ones different. They wove through hand seals Naruto had practiced in secret. Raiton, Jibashi! Lightning spread across the ground from multiple points. Kakashi jumped, and that's when Naruto struck. He'd been underground, using earth manipulation to tunnel beneath the fight. His hand emerged from the dirt, grabbing one of the bells on Kakashi's waist. Predator, Naruto whispered, and black tendrils wrapped around the bell. Yanking it free, Kakashi kicked him away, but Naruto held the bell triumphantly. Got one. The Jonin landed, staring. That last technique? What was that? Just something I developed. We all have our secrets, right, Kakashi-sensei? Naruto gestured to the Sharingan eye. Kakashi's visible eye curved in acknowledgement. Fair enough, but that's only one bell, and time's up. True, Naruto admitted, but you said I just needed to take the bells. You didn't say I had to take both. Kakashi laughed, genuinely amused. Clever, very clever. Most students don't even try to take the test literally. He pulled his headband back down. Congratulations, Naruto. You pass. Just like that. Just like that. The test was never really about the bells anyway. It was about seeing how you fight, how you think, what you're capable of. Kakashi's expression grew serious. And you're capable of quite a lot, aren't you? I do what I need to survive. I can see that. Kakashi studied him for a long moment. All right, Naruto. Here's how this will work. I'm going to train you properly. Not academy basics, but real shinobi skills. In exchange, you're going to tell me how you acquired the abilities you have. Deal? Deal, Naruto agreed. But we do this somewhere private. In a secure Anbu training facility, Naruto told Kakashi a carefully edited version of the truth. He explained finding scrolls in the library, teaching himself, training in the Forest of Death. He demonstrated the Sharingan and explained he'd awakened it spontaneously, not entirely false from a certain perspective. What he didn't mention, Great Sage Predator's true nature, consuming corpses, his full power, or any abilities he wanted kept in reserve. Kakashi listened thoughtfully. You're a prodigy, a genuine once-in-a-generation talent. The Hokage suspected as much, which is why he assigned you to me. Why you specifically? Because I understand what it's like to be exceptional and alone, and because I can protect you from those who'd exploit or harm you for your abilities. Thank you, Sensei, Naruto said, and meant it. Don't thank me yet. Now that you've passed, the real training begins. Kakashi pulled out a scroll. We're going to start with assassination techniques, tracking, and infiltration. Your chakra control is good, but we'll make it perfect, and we need to work on your taijutsu. You rely too much on ninjutsu. Over the following weeks, Naruto's training with Kakashi proved invaluable. The Jonin was a harsh but fair teacher, pushing Naruto to his limits while providing genuine instruction. They worked on close-quarters combat, strategy, psychological warfare, and the countless small skills that separated competent ninja from elite ones. But Naruto's real training happened at night with his shadow clones. He discovered the Kagebunshin's true potential. With Great Sage coordinating, Naruto created specialized training programs using hundreds of clones simultaneously. 100 clones practiced elemental manipulation, each working on different natures. 100 clones studied medical ninjutsu, anatomy, and poison. 100 clones trained taijutsu forms from scrolls he'd copied. 100 clones worked on chakra control exercises, tree walking, water walking, and advanced applications. 50 clones practiced with weapons. 50 clones studied sealing techniques, and dozens more worked on the various abilities he'd acquired through Predator, mastering each one systematically. Close quote, close quote. Can we go faster? Naruto asked. That was the game Naruto played. To Kakashi and anyone watching, he was a talented student learning quickly but believably. In reality, he was approaching mastery of skills that took others years to develop. His chakra reserves grew exponentially as Great Sage continued filtering the Kyuubi's power. His body strengthened through constant Predator enhancements. His mind expanded with accumulated knowledge from hundreds of training sessions compressed into days. 2 months after his graduation, Naruto could legitimately match most Chunin in combat. 3 months in, he could fight low-level Jonin to a standstill, but he hid it behind a mask of talented genin, showing only what was plausible, keeping the rest secret. Then came his first real mission. A C rank? Naruto looked at the mission scroll Kakashi handed him. Escort mission. Civilian client traveling to the land of waves. Should be straightforward, but it's your first mission outside the village. Interested? I'm in. The client was a bridge builder named Tazuna, already drunk when they met at the village gates. He took one look at Naruto and sneered. This kid is supposed to protect me? He looks like he'd blow over in a strong wind. Appearances can be deceiving, Kakashi said mildly. Shall we go? The journey to the land of waves took 3 days through the forest. Naruto used the time to scout with shadow clones, maintaining a perimeter Kakashi didn't even notice. Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said quietly. We have company. 2 Chunin northeast, 3 minutes out. Kakashi's eyes sharpened. You can sense them from this distance? I have good awareness, Naruto said simply. When the demon brothers, Gozu and Meizu, emerged from a puddle on the road despite no recent rain, Kakashi let them attack him first, playing dead to see how his student would react. The brothers ignored the corpse and lunged for Tazuna. Naruto moved. Futon, Gale Palm! Wind chakra exploded from his hands, blasting both attackers backward. Before they could recover, Naruto was on them, kunai flashing. One brother died with a blade through his throat. The other barely blocked, but Naruto's free hand touched his shoulder. Predator. Black tendrils erupted, and the second brother screamed as his body dissolved into particles. His weapons, techniques, and knowledge flowed into Naruto. Naruto. Kakashi was standing, very much alive, staring at the dissolving corpse with an unreadable expression. What did you just do? Eliminated the threat, Naruto said calmly. That technique is mine. I don't explain all my methods, sensei. You said come at enemies with killing intent. I did. Tazuna was white-faced, stammering. You killed them. They tried to kill us, Naruto replied matter-of-factly. They failed. That's how this works. The mission was supposed to be C rank, Kakashi said quietly. Chunin-level enemies make this at least B rank. Tazuna, you lied about the danger level. Why? The old man crumbled. I couldn't afford a higher rank mission. My country is poor, oppressed by Gato, a shipping magnate who controls everything through crime and violence. I'm building a bridge that will break his monopoly, but he's sent assassins. I had no choice. Kakashi considered this. We should return to Konoha and report. No, Naruto interrupted. We continue. Naruto, look at him, sensei. He's desperate. His people are suffering. We have the power to help. And you want to turn back because of paperwork? Naruto met Kakashi's eyes steadily. I didn't become a ninja to abandon people who need help. Something flickered in Kakashi's expression. Pain, memory, perhaps respect. You sound like someone I used to know, he said softly. All right, we continue. But if the danger escalates beyond our capabilities, we retreat. Understood? Understood. They crossed into the land of waves by boat, through thick mist that even Great Sage's sensors struggled to penetrate fully. Incoming, Naruto shouted. A massive blade erupted from the mist, spinning toward them like a saw. Kakashi pushed Tazuna down. Naruto jumped. The sword embedded itself in the boat's mast, and a figure appeared standing on it. Zabuza Momochi, demon of the hidden mist, looked down at them with cold eyes. Hatake Kakashi, copy ninja, and a child! How disappointing. Zabuza, Kakashi greeted, already lifting his headband to reveal the Sharingan. This is beyond your usual work. Gato pays well. Zabuza hefted his massive blade. Nothing personal. The fight that followed was unlike anything Naruto had experienced. Zabuza was a jonin, a master of silent killing, who moved through the mist like a ghost. His hidden mist technique blanketed the area, reducing visibility to nearly zero. But Naruto had Great Sage. Sensei, northwest, Naruto called out, and Kakashi's lightning blade, Chidori, flashed in that direction, forcing Zabuza to dodge. The missing nin's eyes narrowed. The brat can track me in the mist? Among other things, Naruto replied, forming seals. Suiton, Suiryudan no Jutsu. A water dragon formed from the river, surging towards Zabuza. The technique was B rank, far beyond normal genin capabilities, but Naruto executed it flawlessly with Great Sage's guidance. Zabuza countered with his own water dragon. The two jutsu collided in a massive spray. And in that moment, Naruto struck. He'd sent a clone underground minutes ago, using earth manipulation to tunnel through the riverbed. It emerged behind Zabuza, hand glowing with concentrated lightning chakra, a crude imitation of Kakashi's Chidori, but effective enough. Right on. Lightning strike! The bolt caught Zabuza in the back, sending him stumbling forward. Right into Kakashi's real Chidori, lightning pierced through Zabuza's chest. The missing nine coughed blood, looking down in disbelief. Impossible. Defeated by a child's trick. Sensei, wait. Too late. Zabuza's body dissolved into water, a clone. The real Zabuza appeared behind Kakashi, blade swinging for his neck. Naruto moved on pure instinct. Spatial motion? The world lurched. Naruto teleported, appearing between Zabuza and Kakashi. The massive blade cut into his shoulder instead of decapitating his sensei. Pain exploded, then vanished as Great Sage activated pain nullification. Blood sprayed, but Naruto didn't fall. Instead, his hand clamped onto Zabuza's arm. Predator. The black tendrils erupted with terrifying speed. Zabuza's eyes widened in horror as he felt his arm being consumed, dissolved, absorbed. What is this? He tried to pull away, but Naruto's grip was absolute. More tendrils spread, consuming flesh and bone. Naruto, stop! Kakashi shouted, but Naruto was running on combat instinct now, and Predator was hungry. The tendrils crawled up Zabuza's arm toward his torso. A senbon needle struck Zabuza's neck. The missing nine's eyes rolled back, and he collapsed. That's enough, a soft voice said. A hunter nin in a mask appeared on a tree branch, wearing the symbol of the hidden mist. Thank you for weakening this missing nin. I'll take custody of the body now. But Kakashi, exhausted from chakra drain, was already nodding. Of course. Be careful, the boy's technique is unusual. The hunter nin dropped down, and Naruto reluctantly released Zabuza's partially consumed arm. The tendrils retracted, and he felt new power settling into his body. The hunter nine grabbed Zabuza and vanished in a swirl of mist. Naruto, Kakashi said slowly, staring at where the tendrils had been, we need to talk about that technique. Later, Naruto replied, pressing his hand to his shoulder wound. Green chakra glowed as he healed himself. That wasn't a real hunter nin. They're gonna fake Zabuza's death and come back. How do you know? Hunter 9 disposed of bodies immediately, on site, to prevent enemy villages from studying them. She took the body with her. That breaks protocol. Kakashi's eye widened slightly. You're right, which means this mission just became significantly more complicated. So we prepare, Naruto said simply, and when they come back, we'll be ready. Tezuna's house was modest but warm, filled with the love of his daughter Tsunami and grandson Inari. The boy reminded Naruto painfully of himself, small, hurt, trying to hide fear behind false bravado. There's no point in fighting, Inari said bitterly when Tezuna explained the situation. Heroes don't exist. Everyone who stands up to Gato dies. Naruto understood that despair intimately, but he'd moved beyond it. You're right, Naruto said, and everyone looked surprised. Heroes don't exist. Not the kind from stories anyway, but people who fight for what they believe in, they're real. I'm real. And I'm going to protect this bridge and your family, not because I'm a hero, but because it's the right thing to do. While Kakashi recovered from chakra exhaustion in bed, Sharingan use drained non-Uchiha severely, Naruto set about preparing defenses. He created 50 shadow clones and dispersed them throughout the area. What are they doing? Tsunami asked, watching clones work around the property. Setting traps, building sensors, creating defensive positions. Naruto pointed to different locations. When Zabuza comes back, and he will, we'll know exactly where he is and have multiple countermeasures ready. But Naruto also did something else. In secret, deep in the forest, he created another 100 clones for a special project. The Rasengan was an A-rank jutsu created by the 4th Hokage, Naruto's own father, though he didn't know that yet. The technique compressed and rotated chakra into a devastating sphere. The Forbidden Scroll had contained incomplete notes, but Great Sage had filled in the gaps through analysis. Clones worked in shifts. Some focused on rotation, spinning chakra in their palms. Others worked on power, compressing chakra density. A third group practiced direction and control. Meanwhile, the inevitable confrontation approached. Zabuza returned exactly as predicted, with the fake hunter nin revealed to be a boy named Haku with a powerful ice-release bloodline. They attacked at dawn, when mist was thickest, but Naruto's preparations made the mist irrelevant. Sensei, they're here! Naruto reported the moment Zabuza's chakra signature entered his sensor range. Zabuza is approaching the bridge from the north. Haku is moving to intercept us directly. Kakashi, recovered now, nodded grimly. You take Haku. I'll handle Zabuza. Alone? I'm more concerned about you, Kakashi admitted. Haku is a specialist in bloodline techniques. His ice mirrors are extremely dangerous. "I'll be fine," Naruto assured him. The fight began on Tezuna's bridge, half built across the water. Haku appeared in a swirl of ice crystals, moving with impossible speed. "I don't want to kill you," Haku said softly, "but I will protect Zabuza-sama. Please surrender." "Can't do that," Naruto replied. "Then forgive me." Haku's hands flashed through seals. "Makio Hyosho!" Ice mirrors erupted in a circle around Naruto, each reflecting Haku's image perfectly. The boy's form appeared in every mirror simultaneously, and Senbon needles rained down from all directions at impossible speeds. Body armor! Naruto's skin hardened, turning black and metallic. The Senbon struck and bounced off harmlessly. Haku's eyes widened in his mask. "What kind of technique is that?" "Mine," Naruto said, analyzing the mirrors with great sage's help. Naruto's hands ignited with fire chakra. Katan, Gokakyu no Jutsu. A massive fireball erupted, engulfing several mirrors. They melted, cracking, breaking. Haku appeared in remaining mirrors, clearly struggling. "Impossible. No one has ever broken my mirrors. First time for everything." Naruto pressed the advantage, creating shadow clones that emerged from underground, attacking the mirrors' bases. "I fought too hard, survived too much, to lose to someone else's tragic backstory. You know nothing about me." Haku's attacks intensified, Senbon striking from every angle. "I know enough. You're a tool, someone who's given up their humanity to serve another person's ambition." Naruto's eyes, now showing two tomoe in his Sharingan, tracked every needle. "I used to think that was strength. It's not. It's just another kind of weakness." The last mirror shattered. Haku stood exposed, breathing hard. "Your Sharingan. How do you have the Sharingan?" "Does it matter?" Naruto asked. "This fight is over." "No," Haku pulled out more Senbon. "I am Zabuza-sama's tool. I will not fail." "Stop calling yourself a tool," Naruto shouted, and something in his voice made Haku freeze. "You're a person with a bloodline, with skills, with value beyond serving someone else." "Why do you throw that away?" "Because," Haku's voice cracked, "without Zabuza-sama, I have nothing. No purpose, no reason to exist. Open quote, open quote." Naruto felt a flash of pity, but also frustration. Then find a new purpose. Find people worth protecting, not someone who just uses you. "You don't understand. I understand perfectly." Naruto's voice turned cold. "But understanding doesn't mean I'll let you win." His hand came up and in his palm, chakra began to swirl. Close quote, close quote. The Rasengan. His clones had completed it last night. Condensed, rotating chakra formed a perfect sphere of devastating power. Haku's eyes widened. That technique. Naruto moved with spatial motion, teleporting behind Haku. The Rasengan drove forward. At the last second, Haku substituted with an ice clone. But the Rasengan's rotation tore through the ice like paper, and the shockwave sent Haku flying backward, crashing through the bridge's railing into the water below. Naruto didn't pursue. Instead, he turned toward where Kakashi and Zabuza fought, and his blood ran cold. Gato had arrived with his mercenary army, over 100 men with weapons and crossbows. And Zabuza, betrayed by his employer and abandoned, lay wounded on the ground. "You were useful, demon," Gato laughed, surrounded by his thugs. "But I don't pay for failure. Boys, kill them all. The ninja, the bridge builder, everyone." "Sensei," Naruto said quietly, walking to stand beside Kakashi. "Remember when you said I should use any means necessary?" "Yes." "Good." Naruto's hands came together in the seal for his most devastating technique yet, one he'd been developing in secret, inspired by scrolls and his own growing power. Kaj Bunshin no Jutsu. 500 clones exploded into existence, filling the bridge. Each one began forming elemental chakra, fire, water, lightning, earth, wind. The air itself began to distort from the energy concentration. "What?" Gato backed up, fear replacing his arrogance. "Combination technique," Naruto said coldly. "Elemental annihilation." All 500 clones released their jutsu simultaneously. A maelstrom of elemental destruction, fire and lightning, water and earth, wind amplifying everything, swept across the bridge in a devastating wave. Gato's mercenary army didn't stand a chance. They were consumed, destroyed, obliterated in seconds. The bridge itself cracked and groaned under the assault. When the dust settled, over 100 men lay dead or dying, and Gato was on his knees weeping. Please, I have money, I can pay you. Predator." The black tendrils wrapped around Gato, and he screamed as he was consumed. His wealth, his resources, his knowledge of the criminal underworld, all of it flowed into Naruto. Kakashi stared at Naruto with an expression hovering between awe and concern. Naruto, that technique is necessary, Naruto finished. These people were going to kill everyone here. I stopped them by killing over 100 men. Yes, Naruto met his sensei's eye without flinching. I'm not going to apologize for protecting people, sensei. This is what being a ninja means. Or did you think we solved problems with words and friendship? Tazuna, Tsunami, and Inari stood frozen, staring at the carnage. Inari's eyes were wide with terror and awe. You really did it, the boy whispered. You protected us. I said I would, Naruto replied simply. Zabuza, still lying on the ground, laughed weakly. Kid, you're a monster, but an effective one. He coughed blood. Haku, is he? In the water. Maybe alive, maybe not. Then finish me. I've got nothing left. But Naruto hesitated. Something about the missing Nin's relationship with Haku, twisted as it was, reminded him of his own loneliness. Or, Naruto said slowly, you could answer some questions, and maybe I let you live long enough to find out if your student survived. Zabuza's eyes sharpened. What kind of questions? About the 7 swordsmen, their techniques, and where I can find powerful opponents to test myself against. A grin split Zabuza's bloody face. You really are a demon, kid. All right, I'll talk. They found Haku unconscious on the riverbank, barely alive. Naruto healed him enough to stabilize. Then they returned to Tazuna's house. Over the next 3 days, while Zabuza recovered and Kakashi reported to Konoha via Messenger Hawk, Naruto learned everything the missing nin knew. The 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist, the hidden mist's brutal training methods, secret techniques passed down through generations of assassins. Zabuza held nothing back, partly out of gratitude for sparing Haku, partly out of respect for Naruto's strength. You've got potential, kid, Zabuza said on their last night. More than potential. You're going to be a legend if you survive long enough. I plan to, Naruto replied. Then take some advice from someone who learned it the hard way. Power alone isn't enough. You need people you can trust at your back. Otherwise, you end up like me, strong but alone, betrayed because I had no one who cared. Naruto glanced at Kakashi, who was reading his book but clearly listening. I'm working on that. When they left the land of waves, Tazuna's bridge was complete. The old man insisted on naming it the Great Naruto Bridge, much to Naruto's embarrassment. You saved us, Tazuna said firmly. Saved my family, my country. This bridge represents freedom from oppression. What better name than the one who made it possible? Inari hugged Naruto fiercely, tears streaming down his face. Thank you for showing me that heroes can be real. I'm not a hero, Naruto said gently, just someone who refuses to give up. That's what a hero is, Inari insisted. As they traveled back to Konoha, Kakashi was unusually quiet. Finally, he spoke. Naruto, you killed a lot of people on that bridge. Yes. Do you feel guilty? Naruto considered the question honestly. No. Should I? Most people would. I'm not most people. Those men chose to be there, chose to threaten innocent civilians for money. They made their choice. I made mine. Am I becoming something inhuman? Naruto thought to great sage. Just. Kakashi sighed. Remember that strength without compassion leads to tyranny. You protected people because it was right. Hold on to that. Don't let power twist you into something you'll regret. I won't, Naruto promised. At Konoha's gates, they were met by Anbu, who escorted them directly to the Hokage's office. Hiruzen looked older than Naruto remembered, stress lines deeper in his face. Kakashi! Naruto! Your mission report was concerning. Concerning how? Kakashi asked. A C-rank mission escalated to A-rank, engagement with Zabuza Momochi, a Jonin-level missing nin. And according to Kakashi's report, Naruto killed over 100 mercenaries single-handedly using techniques that shouldn't be possible for a genin. They threatened civilians, Naruto said calmly. I eliminated the threat. Hiruzen studied him. Naruto, you're displaying capabilities far beyond your supposed skill level. Shadow clones in the hundreds, all 5 elemental releases, medical ninjutsu, the Sharingan, and this predator technique Kakashi described. Where did you learn all this? The Forbidden Scroll, Naruto said, which was partially true. When I stole it, I didn't just learn the Kage Bunshin. Great Sage analyzed many techniques. Who is Great Sage? Damn, Naruto had slipped. It's what I call my analytical ability, a skill that lets me understand and learn techniques faster than normal. It awakened the night Mizuki betrayed the village. Also partially true. Great Sage had awakened that night. An analytical bloodline? Hiruzen leaned forward with interest. Maybe. I don't know my parents, so I can't say for certain. That was deliberately misleading, but not false. The Hokage exchanged glances with Kakashi. This explains some of your rapid growth, but the Sharingan? Awakened during combat stress. Maybe the Kyuubi's influence, maybe something else. I can't control when or how it activates yet. This was the story Naruto and Great Sage had prepared, a mix of truth, half-truths, and strategic omissions that would satisfy curiosity without revealing his true capabilities. Hiruzen sighed deeply. Naruto, you're becoming something unprecedented. That will make you valuable to the village, but also a target. Do you understand? I understand. That's why I'm getting stronger, so I can protect myself and the people I care about. A worthy goal. The Hokage smiled faintly. Very well. Consider this mission a success despite its complications. Kakashi, continue his training. Naruto, you're dismissed, and try not to cause an international incident next time. Outside, Kakashi put a hand on Naruto's shoulder. You handled that well, but be careful. The more you reveal, the more people will try to control or eliminate you. I know. That's why I won't reveal everything. Smart. Kakashi's visible eye curved in approval. Now let's get some ramen. You've earned it. 3 months passed. Naruto's training intensified under Kakashi's guidance, but his real growth came from the systematic exploitation of his shadow clone technique. Every night, hundreds of clones worked on different skills, compressing years of training into weeks. With all 5 elements mastered, Naruto began working on combination techniques and advanced applications. He developed his own jutsu, blending ninja techniques with abilities from Predator. Waterblade created monofilament wires of pressurized water that could cut through steel. Black lightning allowed him to generate and manipulate dark electricity more powerful than standard lightning release. Sticky thread produced nearly invisible strands strong enough to restrain Jonin. His physical capabilities grew exponentially. Regular consumption of dangerous creatures from the Forest of Death accumulated into superhuman strength, speed, and durability. Great Sage optimized his muscle structure, nervous system, and chakra pathways constantly. But Naruto's most significant development was the evolution of Great Sage itself. It began during a particularly intense training session. Naruto was working on combining all 5 elements simultaneously, a theoretical impossibility that Great Sage insisted could work with proper computational support. No, Naruto gritted out, holding the 5 spinning spheres of elemental chakra. I can do this. Help me balance them. The elements began to collapse, threatening a catastrophic explosion. And in that moment of desperation, something changed. Power surged through Naruto's mind. The elements stabilized instantly, perfectly balanced, and the voice in his head changed, became clearer, more powerful, more present. Raphael, Naruto whispered, and the name felt right. You're stronger now. The implications were staggering. With Raphael's enhanced processing, Naruto could now run 1,000 parallel thought streams. Combat calculations became trivial. Learning new techniques took minutes instead of hours. His growth rate, already exponential, accelerated further. You mean it can evolve like you did? Naruto considered. Predator was already incredibly powerful, but if it could become stronger, do it. The sensation was different from Great Sage's evolution, more physical, more visceral. Naruto felt his stomach space expanding, the black tendrils becoming more responsive, more powerful. New capabilities acquired: corrosion, dissolve anything on contact, receive, obtain target skills without killing them, provide, grant abilities to others. Receive, I can copy abilities without consuming the person? That changed everything. Naruto no longer needed to wait for enemies to die. He could copy their abilities during combat. To test this, Naruto focused on the memories absorbed from Gato. Instantly, he knew the location of every criminal safe house, every smuggling route, every hidden vault the man had maintained. Naruto could access billions in hidden wealth. Raphael, we need to talk about long-term strategy. They talked for hours that night. Naruto and his evolved companion planning futures that would reshape the world. The Chunin exams arrived with less fanfare than Naruto expected. Kakashi submitted his recommendation, and Naruto found himself registered alongside dozens of other genin from across the nations. The first phase, A written test designed to test information gathering was trivial. Raphael analyzed every question instantly. Naruto complied, deliberately missing questions he knew the answers to. The proctor, Ibiki Morino, never suspected. The second phase took place in the Forest of Death, Naruto's old training ground. Teams were required to collect both Heaven and Earth scrolls by stealing them from other teams. This is basically sanctioned murder, one Genin muttered. Welcome to being a ninja, Naruto replied. His team, he'd been assigned two random Chunin hopefuls named Arata and Shiho, looked at him skeptically. We should have a strategy, Arata said. Maybe find a weak team. Or, Naruto interrupted, I handle everything and you two just stay alive. Excuse me? Shiho bristled. Who put you in charge? Watch. Naruto created 50 shadow clones that immediately dispersed into the forest. Within an hour, they'd mapped every team's location, assessed their capabilities, and identified the optimal targets. 3 teams have both scrolls, Naruto reported. Team from Sound Village, easy targets. Team from Rain, moderate difficulty. Team from Grass, one member has unusual chakra signature, possibly dangerous. How do you know all that? Arata demanded. I have good sensory abilities. Now stay here. I'll be back in 20 minutes with all the scrolls we need. You can't just... But Naruto was already gone, using spatial motion to teleport to the Sound Team's location. The fight lasted 30 seconds. 3 Sound Genin never stood a chance against someone with Naruto's capabilities. He used simple taijutsu, not even bothering with jutsu, and left them unconscious with their scrolls taken. Back at the meeting point, Arata and Shiho gaped at the scrolls in his hand. That was, you just, 20 minutes like I said. Let's go to the tower. But Raphael interrupted his plans. A woman in a grass village headband appeared in a swirl of leaves, but her eyes were yellow with slit pupils and her smile promised death. Naruto-kun, she purred in a voice that made his skin crawl. I've been watching you. Such impressive abilities for one so young. Recommend. Immediate retreat. Orochimaru, Naruto said calmly, though his heart raced. The snake Sannin. Oh, you recognize me even in this form? Orochimaru's smile widened. How delightful. And yes, I am he. I've come to give you a gift, child. I don't want anything from you. Don't be hasty. This gift will make you stronger, unlock your potential. I said no. Orochimaru's expression darkened. I don't believe I was asking permission. He moved with speed that even Raphael barely tracked, closing the distance in an instant. His neck extended impossibly, fangs bared to deliver the curse mark. Naruto did all 3 simultaneously. His skin hardened, blocking the bite. He exhaled poison that made Orochimaru stumble, and he teleported backward, creating distance. Impossible, Orochimaru hissed. Those techniques are mine, and I'm not done. Naruto's hands flew through seals. Raiton, black lightning! Dark electricity erupted, not the standard blue of lightning release, but something corrupted, enhanced, far more destructive. Orochimaru barely dodged, and the trees behind him exploded into splinters. Fascinating! Orochimaru laughed despite the danger. You've combined natural lightning with something else. What magnificent potential! You must become my vessel. Arata, Shiho, run! Naruto shouted to his teammates. They didn't need to be told twice. Orochimaru's disguise dissolved. His true form emerged, pale skin, snake-like features, emanating killing intent that would paralyze normal Genin. But Naruto wasn't normal. Kage Bunshi no Jutsu. 1,000 clones erupted into existence. Each one began preparing jutsu, elemental techniques, combination attacks, coordinated strikes. Numbers won't save you, child. The first wave of clones attacked with wind blades. Orochimaru cut through them easily. The second wave used water techniques, forcing him to dodge. The third wave came from underground with earth spikes. And while Orochimaru was distracted, the real Naruto charged a technique he'd been developing in secret, a combination of Rasengan and all 5 elemental natures. Do it anyway. Chakra condensed in Naruto's palm. Wind, water, fire, earth, and lightning swirled together in a sphere of impossible complexity. The air itself distorted around it. Elemental Rasengan! Naruto teleported directly behind Orochimaru and drove the technique forward. The Sanin's eyes widened in genuine shock as the attack connected. The explosion was catastrophic. Trees vaporized. The ground cratered. A shockwave flattened everything within 50 meters. When the dust settled, Orochimaru lay in the center of the destruction. One arm completely destroyed, chest torn open, bleeding from a dozen wounds, but he was laughing. Incredible, he wheezed. Absolutely incredible. That technique surpasses anything I've seen from someone your age. You truly are special, Naruto-kun. Naruto approached cautiously, hand outstretched. Gluttony. The black tendrils erupted toward Orochimaru, but the Sannin substituted at the last instant with a snake escaping underground. Another time, Naruto-kun, his voice echoed. I'll have you yet. Did we at least hurt him? Naruto found Arata and Shiho hiding a mile away, both pale and shaking. What? What was that? Shiho whispered. That was Orochimaru, one of the legendary Sannin. Naruto said it matter-of-factly. And you fought him? And survived. Now let's get to the tower before something else attacks. They completed the second phase in record time. The third phase, the tournament preliminaries, promised actual competition, but Naruto doubted anyone present could challenge him. He was proven right. His first opponent was a Leaf Genin named Kiba Inuzuka, who relied on his ninja dog and clan techniques. The match lasted 45 seconds. Naruto used simple taijutsu enhanced with minimal chakra, and Kiba never landed a hit. Winner, Naruto Uzumaki. His second match was against a Sand Genin named Tamari, who wielded a giant fan and wind techniques. This lasted longer, almost 2 minutes, because Naruto wanted to test his wind manipulation against a specialist. Naruto created a wind vortex that tore the fan from Tamari's hands and left her suspended in midair, helpless. I surrender, she shouted. Winner, Naruto Uzumaki. The pattern continued. Every opponent fell quickly, decisively. Naruto didn't use flashy techniques or overwhelming force, just precise, efficient combat that left no doubt about the skill gap, until he faced Gaara of the desert. The boy with red hair and mad eyes stood across from Naruto, sand swirling around him like a living thing. His chakra signature was wrong, massive, twisted, containing something similar to what Naruto carried. Blood, Gaara whispered, sand rising. Your blood will prove my existence. You're like me, Naruto said quietly. A container. I am nothing like you. Gaara's sand lashed out, forming spikes that thrust toward Naruto from all directions. Naruto dodged with spatial motion, appearing on the arena wall. You're alone, hated, using violence to feel real. I understand that. You understand nothing. More sand erupted, forming a wave that threatened to engulf the entire arena. Mother wants your blood. She demands it. Naruto's eyes shifted to Sharingan, now 3 Tomo, after months of combat experience. Then let's end this. He created 20 clones that attacked from different angles, each one using different elemental techniques to test the sand's defenses. Water froze it, lightning disrupted its chakra control, fire hardened it into glass. The real Naruto gathered chakra for his finishing move. Not the unstable elemental Rasengan, but a perfected version he'd been developing. The sphere in Naruto's hand crackled with dark electricity. He teleported through Gaara's sand defenses and drove it directly into the sand armor protecting the Jinchuriki's chest. The Rasengan bored through, spinning, cutting, electrocuting. Gaara's sand tried to defend but couldn't move fast enough. The attack connected with his chest and stopped. Naruto had pulled the blow at the last instant, leaving Gaara wounded but alive. Why? Gaara stared at him with wide, confused eyes. Why didn't you kill me? Because killing you doesn't prove anything, Naruto said quietly. You're strong, Gaara, but strength alone won't fill the emptiness. Trust me, I know. For a moment, something flickered in Gaara's expression. Understanding, perhaps, or the beginning of it. Winner, Naruto Uzumaki. The month between preliminaries and finals gave Naruto time for intensive preparation. Kakashi offered specialized training, but Raphael had better ideas. Use this time to master advanced techniques and prepare for inevitable complications. High probability that Orochimaru will attempt invasion during finals. He's going to attack the village? Then we prepare for that. Naruto spent the month in intense training unlike anything before. He created 2,000 shadow clones simultaneously, each batch training different skills. 500 worked on perfecting all elemental combinations. 500 practiced advanced space-time techniques. 500 developed new applications of gluttony. The remaining 500 worked on a project Raphael called Ultimate Skill Integration. The result was a fighting style uniquely Naruto's. Seamless transitions between techniques, each one flowing into the next. He could teleport, strike with an elemental Rasengan, absorb the counterattack with gluttony, and heal any damage simultaneously. But the most significant development came near the end of the month. Already? Do it. The evolution was more intense than before. Naruto's entire body burned with power as gluttony transformed into something greater. Soul consumption? Naruto felt a chill. That's, with Beelzebub's evolution complete, Naruto had reached a level of power that few in the world could match. He was essentially a one-man army, capable of techniques from multiple disciplines, with analytical abilities that made him near impossible to surprise. The Chunin exam finals arrived with political fanfare. Dignitaries from across the nations attended, including the Kazekage, though Raphael immediately flagged something wrong. He's planning something during the finals, Naruto thought. Naruto's final match was against Neji Hyuga, a prodigy from the Hyuga clan with the Byakugan and a fatalistic philosophy about destiny. Fate is absolute, Neji declared as they faced each other in the arena. You cannot change what you are, what you're meant to be. I will prove this by defeating you. Destiny is what you make it, Naruto countered. I've proven that every day of my life. The match began. Neji immediately activated his Byakugan, seeing Naruto's chakra system in detail. Your chakra is enormous, Neji said with surprise, and structured strangely. What are you? Someone who refuses to accept limitations. They engaged in taijutsu, and Neji's Gento fist technique struck Naruto's chakra points with precision. Each strike should have sealed his chakra flow, crippled his ability to use jutsu, should have. Impossible! Neji struck again, harder, faster. Your chakra points should be sealed. They are, Naruto said calmly. I just unseal them faster than you can close them. He demonstrated by forming hand seals and using a water technique despite having just been struck. Neji's eyes widened in disbelief. That violates everything I know about chakra systems. Then maybe your understanding is incomplete. Naruto moved faster now, pressing the attack. You talk about destiny, but you're just using it as an excuse to not try, to not change, to accept the world as it is. You know nothing. Neji activated his ultimate technique. 8 trigrams, 64 palms. The strikes came with blinding speed. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64 hits in rapid succession. Each one perfectly targeted, executed with a lifetime of training, and every single one Naruto healed through instantly. Destiny, Naruto said as the technique finished, is just another word for giving up. He placed a hand on Neji's chest, not attacking, just touching. Receive. What did you just? Neji stumbled back. I copied your techniques, all of them. Want to see? Naruto's hands moved in the gentle fist stance, perfectly replicated. 8 trigrams, 64 palms. He struck Neji with the Hyuga's own technique, each hit precise and devastating. Neji tried to defend, but fighting a perfect mirror of his own style proved impossible. The final palm sent Neji flying backward. Chakra system actually sealed this time. Winner, Naruto Uzumaki, the crowd roared. But Naruto's attention was on the Kazekage, who was staring at him with undisguised interest. How long until they attack? Naruto looked around the arena. Thousands of civilians, hundreds of ninja, all about to be caught in a war zone. He made a decision. When the genjutsu fell over the arena moments later, putting civilians to sleep and signaling the start of Orochimaru's invasion, Naruto was ready. Kaj Bunshin no Jutsu. 5,000 clones erupted into existence throughout Konoha, more than he'd ever created before, fueled by the nine-tailed, seemingly limitless chakra that Raphael had been steadily filtering and converting. I don't care. These are my people, my village. I won't let them die because I wanted to keep secrets. Each clone had specific orders. Some evacuated civilians, others engaged invading forces. Hundreds surrounded the barrier where Orochimaru and his Sound Four had trapped the third Hokage. The real Naruto teleported directly into that barrier. Well, Orochimaru smiled. Naruto-kun, come to watch your Hokage die? Hiruzen, already wounded and exhausted, looked at Naruto with alarm. Naruto, get out of here. This barrier is nothing. Naruto placed his hand on the barrier wall. Beelzebub. The black tendrils consumed the barrier entirely, dissolving it into nothing. The Sound Four ninja maintaining it screamed as their chakra was absorbed along with it. Orochimaru's smile faded. That's not possible. That barrier requires 4 powerful ninja to maintain. You can't just consume it? Watch me. Naruto turned to the third Hokage. Hokage-sama, rest. I'll handle this. Naruto, he's one of the Sannin. You can't. I already heard him once. This time I'll finish it. Orochimaru laughed, but it sounded forced. Bold words, child. Let's see if you can back them up. Kuchiyose no Jutsu. 3 giant snakes erupted from summoning circles, each large enough to swallow buildings. They lunged at Naruto with open jaws. Pathetic. Naruto didn't even move. Beelzebub. The black tendrils expanded into a massive sphere around him, and anything that touched it simply ceased to exist. The snakes dissolved into nothing, consumed completely. Impossible. Orochimaru actually looks shaken now. That's my summoning contract. You can't just steal. I can steal anything. Naruto's eyes were cold. Techniques, abilities, bloodlines, summons, everything you have can become mine. He created 50 clones that surrounded Orochimaru. Each one charged a different elemental technique. Combination technique, elemental storm. Lightning, fire, water, earth, and wind converged on Orochimaru from all directions. The Sannin substituted, replaced himself with snakes, tried to escape underground, but Naruto's clones had predicted every move. Naruto slammed his palm to the ground. Spatial lock. Space itself seemed to freeze around Orochimaru, preventing any teleportation or dimensional travel. The Sannin was trapped. What? What are you? Orochimaru's composure finally broke completely. I'm what you wanted me to be, Naruto said quietly. A perfect vessel, someone with unlimited potential. He walked forward slowly. But I'll never be yours. Instead, you'll be mine. Beelzebub, soul consumed. The black tendrils erupted with terrifying speed, wrapping around Orochimaru completely. Unlike previous uses of predator or gluttony, this time they consumed everything, body, chakra, and soul. Orochimaru screamed. It was a sound of absolute terror and agony as he felt himself being erased from existence, not just killed, but unmade. No! No! I am Orochimaru. I am immortal. I cannot... The scream cut off. The tendrils retracted. Where one of the legendary Sannin had stood moments before, there was nothing. The influx of knowledge was overwhelming. Naruto's mind expanded with thousands of jutsu, decades of combat experience, scientific understanding that eclipsed anything he'd learned before. Raphael processed it all, organizing, categorizing, integrating. Hiruzen stared at where Orochimaru had been, then at Naruto. You just consumed him completely. He won't be coming back from that. Naruto, what have you become? Something strong enough to protect this village. Naruto looked at the third Hokage seriously. The invasion is still ongoing. I have 5,000 clones fighting throughout Konoha, but I need to coordinate them. Can you rally the defense forces? Hiruzen straightened despite his wounds, leadership reasserting itself. Yes, I will discuss this later. For now, save the village. Naruto teleported to the Hokage's office rooftop, giving him a view of the entire village. His clones were everywhere, engaging sound and sand ninja, protecting civilians, extinguishing fires. Assign clone battalions to each threat. I'll handle Shukaku personally. Naruto teleported to where Gaara had transformed, now a massive tanuki made of sand rampaging through the forest outside Konoha's walls. Blood, the beast roared. Give me blood! Can I absorb him? Naruto created 100 clones, each one charging powerful jutsu. Then, let's put him back to sleep. The battle was spectacular. Shukaku launched air bullets that could level buildings. Naruto countered with elemental combinations that matched the beast's power. They traded devastating blows, shaking the forest with each impact. But Naruto had advantages the tailed beast didn't. Raphael calculated every attack pattern. Spatial motion let him dodge anything truly dangerous. And his chakra reserves, boosted by the Nine Tails, and now enhanced by consuming Orochimaru, were functionally limitless. So great waterfall technique. Naruto created a tsunami that crashed over Shukaku, the water infused with sealing formula. Open quote, futon, Rasen Shuriken. Naruto threw the wind-based technique he perfected only days ago. A Rasengan transformed into a massive shuriken of rotating wind chakra. It struck Shukaku's chest and detonated, cutting the beast with microscopic wind blades at the cellular level. Shukaku roared in pain and rage. Impossible! A human child cannot hurt me. I'm not a normal human child, Naruto replied, charging his most powerful technique yet. Beelzebub, Void Sphere. A black sphere of condensed matter consuming energy formed above his palm. Concentrated Beelzebub energy shaped into a projectile. When thrown, it would consume anything it touched. The sphere flew toward Shikaku and connected with the beast's head. Reality seemed to distort around the impact point as sand was erased from existence, leaving a massive hole. What is this? What are you? You're better. Naruto teleported onto Shikaku's back, placed both hands on the sand, and poured sealing chakra directly into the connection between Gaara and the beast. Sleep. The seal reasserted itself forcefully. Shikaku's massive form began to dissolve, pulled back into Gaara's body. Within moments, only the red-haired boy remained, unconscious and battered. Naruto caught him before he hit the ground. "You're going to be okay," he said quietly. "We'll find a better way for you." When Naruto returned to Konoha with Gaara, he found the village in chaos but standing. His clones had made the difference. Thousands of enemies defeated, civilians protected, infrastructure preserved. The third Hokage met him at the gates, surrounded by Jonin and Anbu. His expression was complex, gratitude, concern, and calculation mixed together. "Naruto, thanks to you, the village survives, but we need to talk. Immediately." The emergency council meeting included the Hokage, the Jonin commander, Anbu captain, and the clan heads. Naruto sat alone facing them all, aware this was a judgment of sorts. "Naruto Uzumaki," Hiruzen began formally, "you have performed extraordinary service to Konoha today. You eliminate Orochimaru, neutralized the One Tail, and personally saved thousands of lives. For this, the village is deeply in your debt." "But," Naruto prompted. "But," the Hokage continued, "you also revealed capabilities that raise serious questions, the ability to consume enemies and absorb their powers, spatial teleportation, Kaji-level jutsu repertoire, control over thousands of shadow clones simultaneously, and whatever you did to make Orochimaru simply cease to exist." Hiyashi Hyuga spoke up, his Byakugan eyes studying Naruto. "You also somehow replicated my clan's gentle fist technique after a single encounter with Neji. That should be impossible without the Byakugan." "I copied it," Naruto confirmed. "I can copy most techniques I observe or make contact with." "That's..." Shikaku Nara leaned forward. "That's essentially a more powerful version of the Sharingan's copying ability. Combined with your other skills, you're effectively a one-man strategic weapon." "Is that a problem?" Naruto asked calmly. "That depends," the Anbu captain said, "on your intentions. A weapon of your power could destroy Konoha as easily as save it." "My intention," Naruto said clearly, "is to protect this village and the people in it. That's all I've ever wanted. Recognition, yes, but also to be strong enough that no one can hurt me or the people I care about ever again." "Noble goals," Hiruzen said, "but you must understand our concern. Your abilities are unprecedented. How did you acquire them?" This was the moment of truth. Naruto could lie, deflect, maintain his cover, or he could offer partial transparency to build trust. Close quote. Close quote. "I have two unique abilities," he said carefully. "One analyzes and helps me learn techniques at accelerated rates. The other allows me to absorb and assimilate what I consume. They awakened when I was 6 during a particularly bad mob beating." "These abilities," Inoichi Yamanaka spoke up, "are they bloodlines? Something from your parents?" "I don't know. Maybe. I never knew my parents." The council members exchanged glances. They clearly knew who his parents were, but weren't saying. "The question," Shikaku said, "is what we do with you now. Someone of your capabilities doesn't fit normal ninja hierarchies. You're too powerful for Genin, too young for Jonin, and too unique for standard classification. I propose," Hiruzen said, "that Naruto be granted special status. He will operate independently under my direct command with flexibility to take missions as he sees fit. His rank will be classified, and his true capabilities will remain village secrets." "That's giving a 12-year-old enormous autonomy," someone objected. "That 12-year-old just saved the village," Hiruzen replied firmly. "He's earned trust, and frankly, attempting to control or restrict someone of his power would likely backfire catastrophically." "I accept," Naruto said. "I'll work with the village, not against it, but I need freedom to train and develop my abilities." "Agreed." Hiruzen smiled slightly. "Though I do ask one favor, would you consider teaching some of your techniques to village ninja? Not the unique abilities, but your elemental manipulation methods or tactical approaches could benefit our forces significantly." "I can do that," Naruto agreed. The meeting concluded with Naruto granted unprecedented autonomy for someone his age, but as he left, Hiruzen pulled him aside privately. Naruto, there's something you should know. Your father was the fourth Hokage, Naruto interrupted. I figured it out. The timing, the resemblance, why you protected me despite the village's hatred. It wasn't hard to deduce. Hiruzen looked surprised. You knew? For a while now. My analytical ability helps me connect patterns. But it doesn't matter. He's dead. I am who I am because of the choices I made, not because of whose son I am. He would be proud of you, Hiruzen said softly. Both your parents would. They sacrificed everything to give you a chance at life, and you've exceeded every hope they might have had. I know, Naruto thought back, but I can't dwell on it. What's done is done. Thank you for telling me, Naruto said aloud. Now, if we're done, I need to sleep for about 16 hours. Maintaining 5,000 clones and fighting Orochimaru was exhausting. Of course, rest. You've earned it. The months following the invasion were transformative for Konoha and Naruto both. The village rebuilt, stronger and more united after surviving the attack. Naruto's role was quietly acknowledged. He was the hero who saved them. Though the full extent of his power remained classified, he began training sessions with Jonin and Anbu, teaching elemental manipulation techniques and tactical applications. Watching experienced ninjas struggle with concepts he found trivial reminded Naruto just how far he'd come. The key, he explained to a class of Chunin, is understanding that elemental chakra isn't about forcing your energy to change. It's about letting it flow into the shape it wants to take. Water wants to flow. Fire wants to burn. Work with the nature, not against it. Open quote, because I actually understand the principles instead of just reciting them. But teaching was only a small part of his activities. Naruto's real focus was on continued growth and exploration of his abilities. With Orochimaru's memories integrated, he had access to thousands of jutsu and decades of research. One particularly interesting discovery was the Sage Mode, a technique that drew on natural energy to enhance one's abilities beyond normal limits. The Slug, Toad, and Snake Sage Modes each have different approaches, Naruto mused, studying scrolls in his apartment. But they all achieve similar results, dramatically enhanced physical capabilities and sensory perception. Or I could cheat. Naruto created 100 shadow clones. 50 of you go to Mount Myoboku using Orochimaru's spatial coordinates. 50 go to Ryuchi Cave. Learn everything you can about Sage Mode, then disperse to transfer the knowledge. That's why I'm sending 100 instead of 5. Some will survive long enough to learn. The gambit paid off. Within a week, his clones had infiltrated both Sage locations, learned the basics, and dispersed. The influx of Sage knowledge hit Naruto all at once. When Naruto activated Perfect Sage Mode for the first time, orange pigmentation appeared around his eyes, his pupils came slitted like a snake, and his physical capabilities increased fivefold. But unlike traditional Sage Mode, Rafa maintained it automatically by constantly drawing natural energy. This is incredible, Naruto breathed, feeling the power coursing through him. I can sense everything within a kilometer radius. Every chakra signature, every living thing. The combination of Sage Mode with his existing abilities pushed Naruto firmly into high Kage level territory. He could match the strongest ninja in the world in combat, and he'd only just turned 13. But power brought complications. News of a child prodigy who defeated Orochimaru spread through the ninja world despite Konoha's attempts at secrecy. Other villages began taking interest. Anbu reports flagged multiple intelligence-gathering operations focused on Naruto. They want to know if you're a threat or an opportunity, Hiruzen explained during one of their private meetings. Some will try to recruit you. Others will try to eliminate you. You need to be prepared. I am prepared, Naruto assured him. Let them try. Raphael had extracted information about them from Orochimaru's memories, a criminal organization composed of rogue S-rank ninja hunting tailed beasts for an unknown purpose. They'll come for me eventually, Naruto said, because of the Nine Tails. Eventually, Hiruzen agreed, which is why I'm authorizing you to operate outside the village. Hunt them before they hunt you. Naruto spent the next months tracking Akatsuki movements using the intelligence network he'd inherited from Gato. Close quote. Close quote. The criminal's resources proved surprisingly useful. Informants throughout the underworld provided information legitimate channels couldn't access. He identified several Akatsuki members, Itachi Uchiha, the one who massacred his own clan. Kasame Hoshigaki, former Seven Swordsman. Sasori of the Red Sand, puppet master. And others, each one a legendary ninja in their own right. They're collecting the tailed beasts, Naruto deduced from pattern analysis. Gaara was likely a target. The invasion created an opportunity to capture him during the chaos. Then let's start hunting. His first target was Kakuzu, a member who operated openly as a bounty hunter. Raphael tracked him to a small town in the Land of Fire, collecting bounties. Naruto approached openly, no stealth. Kakuzu sat in a tea shop, counting money. Kakuzu of the Akatsuki, Naruto announced. The older ninja looked up, green eyes narrowing. A child knows my name, either very brave or very stupid. Neither, just confident. Naruto smiled. I'm here to kill you and take your hearts. Kakuzu laughed. Children these days, so arrogant. He stood and threads began emerging from his body. I've killed hundreds of ninjas stronger than you. They weren't me. The fight was brutal and spectacular. Kakuzu separated into 5 elemental beings, each attacking with devastating jutsu. Lightning, fire, wind, water, earth, all launched simultaneously from different directions. But Naruto had perfect Sage Mode active. He dodged the fire by teleporting, countered the lightning with his own, absorbed the water with Beelzebub, created an earth wall against the earth attack, and dispersed the wind with a greater wind technique. Impossible! Kakuzu's eyes widened. All 5 elements mastered? At your age? I'm a fast learner. Naruto created 50 clones, each one attacking a different elemental heart body. Let's see how immortal you really are. The clones systematically destroyed 4 of Kakuzu's hearts despite his desperate defense. But the 5th heart, the original in his main body, proved harder to reach. You're strong, Kakuzu admitted, clearly struggling. But you can't kill me. My Earth Grudge Fear technique is absolute. Everything has a weakness. Naruto's hands came together. Beelzebub, soul consumed. The black tendrils erupted, but this time they ignored physical form entirely, reaching directly for Kakuzu's soul. The ninja's eyes widened in absolute terror as he felt something fundamental being torn from his body. No, you can't. This isn't possible. No technique can. The scream cut off. Kakuzu's body collapsed, empty. His soul, knowledge, abilities, and even his threads were completely absorbed. One down, Naruto said, storing Kakuzu's corpse in his imaginary space. Several more to go. Over the next year, Naruto systematically hunted Akatsuki members who operated independently. Hidden, the immortal cultist, fell to soul consumption despite his immortality. Deidara, the explosion specialist, was defeated when Naruto simply teleported his clay bombs back to him. Each consumption made Naruto stronger, more knowledgeable, more dangerous. But the biggest confrontation came when Naruto encountered Itachi Uchiha. The Uchiha stood on a forest road, waiting, almost as if he knew Naruto would come. Naruto Uzumaki, Itachi said calmly. I've heard much about you, the child who defeated Orochimaru, who hunts S-rank criminals like prey. Itachi Uchiha, the one who murdered his entire clan. Naruto Sharingan activated, now Mangekyo, evolved through combat and emotional stress. I should kill you for that alone. Perhaps, Itachi's own Mangekyo Sharingan spun to life, but you don't know the full truth, and you won't get the chance to learn it. Tsukuyomi? The Genjutsu struck instantly. Itachi's signature technique that trapped victims in an illusory world where he controlled all parameters. Most ninja would be helpless, but Naruto had Raphael. The illusion shattered, and suddenly Itachi was the one trapped in a mental construct. For 3 days, though only seconds passed in reality, he experienced Naruto's memories, the loneliness, the beatings, the awakening of power, the fights, the growth. When it broke, Itachi actually stumbled, clearly shaken. That was your life? That's what they did to you? Every day, for years. So don't talk to me about sacrifice and hard choices. You don't have the moral high ground here. No, Itachi agreed quietly. I suppose I don't. Very well. If you want to fight, then... I don't want to fight, Naruto interrupted. I want information. Why did you really massacre the Uchiha clan? Orochimaru's memories suggest it wasn't simple madness. Itachi was silent for a long moment. Then, they were planning a coup. The village would have fallen into civil war. I was given a choice, my clan or the village. I chose the village. So you killed everyone? Even the children? Except Sasuke. I couldn't kill him. He is my brother. Pain flickered in Itachi's eyes. I left him alive, hoping he would grow strong enough to kill me someday and become a hero. That's twisted, Naruto said flatly. You destroyed his entire world, then expected him to thank you for it? No, I expected him to hate me, to use that hatred to grow strong. Itachi's expression was haunted. Was I wrong? Completely. Hatred doesn't make you strong. It makes you brittle. I should know. I've had enough of it directed at me. They stood in silence, two wielders of the Sharingan, both carrying burdens too heavy for their years. I won't kill you today, Naruto decided. But I won't let you take the Nine Tails either. If Akatsuki comes for me, I'll destroy them all. I believe you would. Itachi's form began to dissolve into ravens, a clone. This was merely a test. When we meet again, it will be for real. Prepare yourself, Naruto Uzumaki. The ravens scattered, and Itachi was gone. He's strong, Naruto admitted. Maybe stronger than anyone I've fought except Orochimaru, but I'll be ready. Naruto's 14th birthday arrived with unexpected ceremony. The village, grateful for his continued protection and service, threw a public celebration. It was surreal. The same people who had tried to kill him 8 years ago now cheered his name. Weird, isn't it? Kakashi observed, standing beside Naruto on the Hokage Tower roof while the festival proceeded below. From village pariah to celebrated hero. Very weird, Naruto agreed. I keep expecting it to be a trick, that they'll suddenly remember they hate me. They won't. You've proven yourself too thoroughly, though I suspect some fear you more than love you. Fear I can work with, Naruto said. Better than hatred. True, though ideally you'd want neither. Ideally, a lot of things would be different. Naruto looked out over Konoha, this village that had hurt him so deeply, but which he'd come to protect anyway. But we work with what we have. The next years blurred together in a cascade of growth, missions, and continued development. Naruto's power reached levels that redefined what was possible for a shinobi. He mastered all of Orochimaru's thousands of techniques. He perfected Sage Mode to the point where it was his default state. He developed unique jutsu combinations that no one else could replicate. The elemental Rasengan became planetary Rasengan. 5 elemental Rasengans orbiting a central core capable of devastating anything they touched. His spatial motion evolved into true teleportation. He could now move anywhere he could sense or had been before, regardless of distance. Beelzebub's capabilities expanded to the point where he could consume and replicate entire landscapes if necessary. And Raphael continued evolving his mind, pushing the boundaries of what consciousness could achieve. What about the other tailed beasts? The 10 tails? The threats Orochimaru's memories hinted at? Naruto was 15 when the major conflicts of Part 1 reached their conclusion. Sasuke, driven by hatred and Orochimaru's manipulations in the original timeline, had instead been reached by Naruto's example in this one. The two had fought, a spectacular battle that destroyed Training Ground 7, but it ended with understanding rather than defection. You're stronger than me, Sasuke admitted, Sharingan spinning as he tried and failed to track Naruto's movements. I hate it, but I also respect it. How? How did you get this powerful? By refusing to give up, by using every resource I had, by being willing to do whatever it took. Naruto helped Sasuke to his feet. Hatred won't make you stronger than me, but purpose might. Find something worth protecting instead of something worth destroying. Gaara, instead of becoming Kazekage through conflict, was mentored by Naruto in controlling his beast. They'd formed a friendship based on mutual understanding, two Jinchuriki who refused to let their demons define them. You showed me it's possible, Gaara said during one of their training sessions, to be strong and human, to protect people instead of just killing them. We're containers, Naruto replied, but that doesn't make us weapons. It makes us powerful enough to choose what we become. The various conflicts that should have torn the ninja world apart were instead resolved through Naruto's overwhelming strength and strategic intervention. He'd become a force for stability, though not always through gentle means. Is that good or bad? On his 16th birthday, Hiruzen called Naruto to his office for a private conversation. Naruto, you've served Konoha admirably for years now. You've protected us, trained our ninja, and eliminated threats before they could harm the village. The Hokage paused. I'm getting old. My time as Hokage is coming to an end. I need to choose a successor. You're considering me? Naruto was surprised. Among others. You're young, yes, but you're also the strongest ninja in the village, perhaps in the world, and people respect you. I'm honored, Naruto said carefully, but I don't think I'm the right choice. Oh? I'm too unusual, too different. The village needs someone they can relate to, someone who represents traditional shinobi values while pushing progress. Naruto smiled. Someone like Kakashi-sensei, or Tsunade, if you could convince her to return. You're recommending someone else over yourself? I'm recognizing my limitations. I'm a weapon, Hokage-sama, an extremely effective one. But weapons don't make good leaders. They make good protectors. Naruto's expression grew serious. Let someone else lead the village. I'll make sure nothing can destroy it. Hiruzen studied him for a long moment, then smiled. You've grown wise, Naruto. Very well. I'll consider your recommendations. 2 years passed in what felt like weeks. Naruto's evolution continued beyond even Raphael's projections. The change was instantaneous yet profound. Raphael had been powerful, a companion that analyzed and guided. Shiel was something more, near omniscient, autonomous, capable of managing Naruto's entire existence without conscious input. You feel different, Naruto observed, more present. Show me. Ciel activated every ability Naruto possessed at once. Perfect Sage Mode, Body Armor, Multi-Layer Barrier, Magic Sense, all 5 elemental releases primed, Sharingan evolved to Eternal Mangekyo, Spatial Awareness expanded to Continental Scale. All maintained effortlessly, consuming negligible mental resources. Open quote. But Ciel's evolution was only the beginning. Naruto had spent 2 years systematically consuming powerful entities, rogue Jinchuriki, dangerous summons, S-rank criminals. Each one fed Beelzebub, building towards something greater, and now, finally, the threshold was reached. The transformation was catastrophic. Reality itself seemed to reject the impossibility occurring within Naruto's soul. Space cracked. Time stuttered. The very concept of existence trembled as something beyond natural law manifested. Naruto felt the power settle into him. With Turn Null, he could create or destroy reality itself. With Azathoth's full capabilities, he transcended normal existence, became something that couldn't be killed by conventional means because he existed partially outside causality. I'm beyond even Kage level now, Naruto said quietly. What does this make me? What evolution? Naruto considered this carefully. Power was one thing. Abandoning his humanity entirely was another. Later, he decided, when I'm sure. The decision proved timely, because 3 days later, everything changed. A dimensional rift tore open above Konoha. Not a summon, not a jutsu, a literal tear in reality itself. And through it came beings that didn't belong in the ninja world. They called themselves the Otsutsuki clan. Ciel's analysis was immediate and alarming. 3 of them descended, humanoid but clearly alien, with pale skin, horns, and eyes that held power beyond normal dojutsu. This world contains our clan's god tree, the lead Otsutsuki announced, his voice resonating with authority. We have come to harvest it and reclaim what is ours. Resistance is futile. Naruto stood on the Hokage Tower, visible to the invaders and the gathered Konoha forces. This world belongs to no one. Leave now or be destroyed. The Otsutsuki laughed. Destroyed? By a native? We are gods compared to your kind insect. Close quote. Your Azathoth can consume that chakra entirely, rendering them mortal. Let's test that theory. Naruto's form blurred with spatial motion, appearing directly in front of the lead Otsutsuki. Azathoth, void sphere. The black orb materialized between them, concentrated nothingness that consumed everything. The Otsutsuki raised a barrier. It was instantly devoured. Impossible! He teleported backward, genuine alarm in his voice. That technique, it consumed my divine protection. Divine? Naruto smiled coldly. You're just parasites who learn to steal energy. I'm something far worse. He unleashed Megiddo, the technique he developed from Rimuru's memories, perfected through Ciel's calculations and powered by Turn Null energy. Sunlight concentrated through water particles in the upper atmosphere, focused into thousands of laser precision strikes moving at light speed. The sky itself became a weapon. Megiddo rained down on the 3 Otsutsuki with devastating precision. They erected barriers, used space-time jutsu, tried everything. It didn't matter. Each beam was guided by Ciel's calculations, accounting for every defensive measure, striking from angles that couldn't be blocked. The first Otsutsuki fell. body pierced by 17 simultaneous strikes. He regenerated. These beings had powerful healing factors. Azatho, soul consumed. Naruto's technique activated before the Otsutsuki could finish regenerating. Black tendrils wrapped around him, and unlike previous targets, this consumption targeted something deeper than body or chakra. It consumed his very existence, soul, accumulated power, genetic memory, everything. The Otsutsuki's scream was brief. Then he simply ceased to be. The remaining two Otsutsuki stared in horror. He consumed Kinshiki completely, one whispered. Not killed, erased from existence. What manner of creature is this? The kind that protects his home, Naruto replied. Your turn. The battle that followed reshaped Konoha's landscape. One Otsutsuki created spatial distortions that folded reality. Naruto countered with his own space-time manipulation enhanced by consumed Otsutsuki knowledge. The other Otsutsuki used gravity manipulation to create black holes. Naruto used turn null to simply unmake them. Every technique they possessed, he had a counter. Every power they wielded, he exceeded it. And when they tried to flee through dimensional rifts, Seal calculated their destinations and Naruto teleported there first. There's nowhere you can run that I can't follow, Naruto said, appearing in their path. Your clan chose the wrong world to harvest. The battle concluded with both Otsutsuki consumed completely, their power, knowledge, and very existence absorbed into Naruto through Azathoth. Let them come, Naruto said coldly. I'll consume the entire clan if necessary. But Konoha's reaction concerned him more. The villagers had watched him fight beings who called themselves gods. They'd seen him win effortlessly. Now they looked at him with something beyond respect or fear. They looked at him like he was something incomprehensible. Naruto, Tsunade, now 5th Hokage after Hiruzen's retirement, approached carefully. What were those things? And what have you become? They were Otsutsuki, extra-dimensional parasites who harvest worlds. And Naruto paused, considering. I'm what happens when someone refuses to accept limitations. You consumed them, not killed, consumed, like they never existed. Yes, that's... Tsunade struggled for words. That's beyond anything I've seen, beyond anything that should be possible. Welcome to my reality, Naruto said tiredly. More will come. I need to prepare. The Otsutsuki invasion marked a turning point. Naruto could no longer pretend to be merely powerful. He'd revealed himself as something beyond normal categories, a being who could consume gods and erase them from existence. The ninja world's response was predictable. Some saw him as their greatest defender. Others feared he would become a threat himself. And a few, like Sasuke, understood what he'd become. You're not human anymore, are you? Sasuke asked during a private conversation. Not really. I'm still Naruto, he replied. But you're right, I've changed, grown beyond normal limits. Will you keep changing, keep growing until you're something completely alien? I don't know, Naruto admitted. Power was supposed to let me protect people, but now I'm so far beyond that I can't relate anymore. Everyone I talk to, I could erase with a thought. Every threat that emerges, I'm expected to handle alone because no one else can. Sounds lonely. It is, incredibly lonely. Sasuke's expression softened slightly. Then don't lose yourself completely. Hold on to something human. Otherwise, what's the point of all this power? The advice resonated. Naruto had been so focused on becoming stronger that he'd forgotten why. Not for power itself, for connection, for the village that had finally accepted him, for the people he wanted to protect. I won't become a monster, Naruto promised himself and Ciel. No matter how strong I get. 6 months after the Otsutsuki invasion, the real threat emerged. Ciel detected it first. A massive distortion forming in space above the planet. Not a rift this time, but something worse. An entire Otsutsuki mothership phasing into the dimension. An entire fleet? Naruto felt his first real concern in months. Can I handle that many? Then I need to prevent them from attacking together. Naruto teleported to the mothership's location, high atmosphere where the massive vessel hung like a malevolent moon. He created 10,000 shadow clones. Ciel, can you coordinate all of them simultaneously? Then let's begin. The clones dispersed, each one targeting different sections of the mothership. They used spatial motion to phase through the hull, bypassing shields and barriers. Once inside, they began systematic elimination. The Otsutsuki fought back viciously. These weren't like the 3 who'd first invaded. These were warriors, scientists, and cultivators who'd conquered hundreds of worlds. They used techniques Naruto had never seen, time loops that trapped opponents in eternal combat, soul-severing attacks, dimensional compression that reduced targets to singularities. But Naruto's clones had Azathoth. Every technique they tried was analyzed, consumed, and countered. Time loops were unmade with turn null. Soul attacks were absorbed and converted to power. Dimensional compression was reversed, trapping the Otsutsuki in their own techniques. And when his clones dispelled, the knowledge and power they'd acquired through consumption flowed back to Naruto. On it! Spatial domination! Naruto's power expanded outward, claiming the space around the mothership as his domain. Within this zone, he controlled all aspects of space-time. No one could teleport or dimension shift without his permission. The Otsutsuki realized they were trapped. This cannot be, their leader, a female Otsutsuki with 3 horns, shouted in fury. We are the supreme clan. We have harvested thousands of worlds. One native cannot. Watch me, then as Naruto's original body teleported directly in front of her. Your mistake was thinking I'm a native. I'm something your clan has never encountered before. She attacked with everything, manifesting weapons from dimensional storage, using reality-warping dojutsu, summoning cosmic-level chakra constructs. Each attack was powerful enough to destroy mountains. Naruto blocked them all with a gesture, his multi-layer barrier absorbing the impact effortlessly. My turn, he said. Megiddo, World Ender. The technique activated on a scale never before used. Every water particle in the atmosphere above the mothership became a lens. Sunlight concentrated through millions of focal points simultaneously, creating a bombardment that turned the ship's hull into slag. Otsutsuki died by the dozens, unable to defend against light-speed attacks coming from every angle. Those who survived found themselves facing Naruto's clones, each one capable of using his full arsenal. The battle lasted 3 hours. When it ended, the mothership was a debris field, and 70 Otsutsuki had been completely consumed through Azathoth. But 30 Otsutsuki had escaped before Naruto could establish his spatial lock. They fled through emergency dimensional gates, scattering across the multiverse. How strong are their strongest? That was sobering. For the first time since gaining Rimuru's powers, Naruto faced the possibility of meeting something stronger. Then I need to evolve further. You said there was a final transformation? What's the cost? Naruto stood amid the wreckage of the Otsutsuki mothership, looking down at the planet below. Konoha was a tiny speck from this height. The people he'd fought to protect were invisible from here. If I become something beyond human, will I still care about them? I need time to think. Naruto returned to Konoha to find the village in uproar. Reports of the battle in high atmosphere had spread. Everyone knew he'd single-handedly destroyed an invasion fleet. Naruto, Tsunade grabbed him the moment he landed. What happened up there? We detected massive energy signatures, then they all vanished. I eliminated the threat, Naruto said simply. But more are coming, stronger ones. How much stronger? Strong enough that I might not win. That admission shocked everyone present. Naruto had been invincible for years. The idea that something could challenge him was almost inconceivable. What do you need? Kakashi asked, now serving as Tsunade's advisor. Time and space to train. I have one more evolution to undergo, but it will change me fundamentally. I wanted it to. I don't know. Say goodbye to being human, I guess. You're leaving? Sakura spoke up, having heard the conversation. No, but I'm becoming something else, something beyond human. I wanted people to know that who I am now, this is the last time I'll be genuinely one of you. The words hung heavy. His friends understood what he meant. They'd watched him grow from the village's most hated child to its greatest defender, and now he would transcend humanity itself. Will you remember us? Ino asked quietly. When you're, whatever you become. I'll try, Naruto promised. Ciel will help preserve my memories and emotional connections, but I honestly don't know what being trans-dimensional will feel like. I might see you all differently. Sasuke stepped forward. Then remember this. We don't need you to be human. We need you to be you, the idiot who never gives up, who protects people because he wants to, not because he has to. If you can stay that person while being a god, then do it. Thanks, Sasuke. Naruto smiled genuinely for the first time in weeks. I'll hold on to that. He spent the next week preparing. Not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically. He visited every person who mattered to him, shared meals, talked about memories. It was his way of anchoring himself to humanity before leaving it behind. Gaara visited from the Sand Village. You're really doing this? Becoming something beyond what we are? I have to. The threats coming are too strong. But I'm scared, Gaara. Scared I'll lose myself. Then take us with you. Gaara's expression was serious. Not literally, but carry the memory of everyone you've protected. Let that be your anchor. You became strong to protect people. Don't forget that when you're powerful enough to unmake existence itself. The advice echoed Sasuke's. Stay connected. Remember why you fight. On the 8th day, Naruto traveled to the Valley of the End, the location where Hashirama and Madara had their final battle. It felt appropriate, a place where legends had clashed, now witnessing the birth of something beyond legend. Ciel, I'm ready. Begin the transformation. Do it. Pain exploded through every cell of Naruto's body. Not physical pain, something deeper. His very existence was being rewritten at the conceptual level. Flesh became data. Data became pure information. Information became something that existed beyond traditional matter. He felt his consciousness expand, suddenly aware of dimensions beyond the three he'd always known. Could perceive the flow of time as a direction rather than an inevitability. Understood space as malleable rather than fixed. His body dissolved, becoming light, then energy, then something without physical analog. His mind split into parallel processes, thousands of thought streams operating simultaneously, each one him but separate, all connected through a higher dimensional network. 24 hours elapsed, biological conversion 60% complete. Consciousness successfully adapted to multidimensional perception. Continuing, Naruto experienced existence in ways impossible to describe in human language. He could see his own timeline, past, present, and multiple potential futures branching like a tree. Could sense the planet's dimensional structure. Felt the presence of every living thing within a 1,000-mile radius, not as chakra signatures, but as information patterns. The transformation continued. His body reformed, not flesh and blood, but projection, a physical manifestation of his digital consciousness. It looked identical to his original form, but was fundamentally different. He could reshape it at will, reform it from nothing, exist without it entirely if necessary. 47 hours complete. Transformation successful. You are now a digital life form of the highest order. Physical body, projection-based, infinitely regenerable. Consciousness, transdimensional, spanning multiple parallel thought processes. Existence, anchored beyond causality. You can be destroyed in this dimension, but will persist in others. Naruto opened his eyes. The world looked different. He could see the dimensional barriers that separated realities. Could perceive the flow of chakra not as energy, but as fundamental universal force. And beyond that, could sense the vast multiverse, infinite dimensions stacked like pages in an endless book. Is this what being a god feels like? He whispered. Naruto tested his new capabilities. He reformed his body into pure energy, then back to human shape, teleported across dimensional barriers, visiting a parallel reality for seconds before returning, created matter from nothing using turn null, then unmade it, moved backward in time by 3 seconds, an ability he'd never possessed before. What are my limits? So I'm not omnipotent. Naruto returned to Konoha. His friends gathered immediately, sensing something fundamentally changed. You look the same, Sakura observed, but you feel completely different, like you're here but also somewhere else. I'm anchored in multiple dimensions now, Naruto explained. What you're seeing is a projection of my consciousness into physical form. The real me exists across dimensional barriers. That's unsettling, Ino said bluntly. I know, but it's necessary. The threats coming would have destroyed me if I remained merely physically powerful. Are you still you? Sasuke asked the crucial question. Still Naruto? Naruto considered carefully. His emotional responses felt muted compared to before, not absent but distant, like watching feelings through a filter. His priorities had shifted subtly. Individual lives mattered less than before, while conceptual concerns like preserve the dimension or maintain causality suddenly felt important. But underneath the changes, something remained. The core of who he'd been, the orphan who wanted recognition, the child who'd been hurt and chose to protect others anyway, the ninja who refused to give up. Yes, he said finally, I'm still me, just more. 2 months later they came. CL detected them before they fully manifested. 5 massive distortions in space-time, each one heralding the arrival of an Otsutsuki so powerful that reality itself bent around them. Open quote, near divine, Naruto noted. But not fully divine? Better than even odds. I'll take it. The 5 Otsutsuki manifested above Konoha, each one radiating power that made the atmosphere shimmer, close quote. The lead, Ishiki, based on CL's identification, spoke with a voice that resonated across dimensions. Naruto Uzumaki, you have slaughtered our kin and consumed their power. For this crime against the Otsutsuki clan, you will be erased from existence. All dimensions, all timelines, all possibilities. Big talk, Naruto replied, floating up to meet them. Let's see if you can back it up. Ishiki moved first. Not attacked, moved. One instant he was distant, the next his palm pressed against Naruto's chest. The touch unleashed a technique that shouldn't exist. Daikokuten, a space-time dojutsu that reduced targets to subatomic particles by compressing the space they occupied. Naruto's body disintegrated. For a fraction of a second, he was completely destroyed. Then he reformed. Impossible! Ishiki's eyes widened. That technique erases targets from physical reality. You should not be able to regenerate. I'm not physical anymore, Naruto explained, his body rippling with energy. I exist as information across dimensions. You can destroy my manifestation, but I'll just project a new one. Shibai attacked next, using a technique called omnipotence, reality manipulation on a conceptual level. He attempted to rewrite Naruto's existence, making him never have been born. Interesting, Naruto said. You tried to unmake me. My turn. Azathoth, nihility collapse. The technique activated on all 5 Otsutsuki simultaneously. Black voids opened beneath them, not holes in space but absences in existence itself. Regions where reality simply ceased. 4 managed to escape using dimensional shifts. Kinshiki 2 wasn't fast enough. The void consumed him completely, erasing his existence so thoroughly that even the memory of him began to fade. Stop the restoration, Naruto commanded. Space itself locked around the erasure point, preventing any resurrection attempts. Kinshiki 2 was permanently gone. He killed Kinshiki with a single technique. Momoshiki's composure cracked. This isn't possible. We are the supreme beings of this universe. You were, Naruto corrected. Now you're just powerful parasites facing something stronger. The battle that followed reshaped the planet's landscape. The 4 remaining Otsutsuki used everything. Dimension-splitting attacks, time manipulation, gravity wells strong enough to collapse stars, reality-warping dojutsu that rewrote natural laws. Naruto countered it all. His digital life-form nature made him nearly impossible to kill permanently. His Azathoth consumed their attacks and converted them to energy. Seal calculated optimal responses to techniques he'd never seen before. And Turn Null allowed him to create and destroy matter at fundamental levels. He created a technique combining everything he'd learned. Ultimate skill integration, void genesis. Turn Null energy mixed with Azathoth's consumption capabilities, channeled through Seal's perfect calculations, manifested through his digital lifeform control over existence. The result was a sphere of pure paradox, something that simultaneously created and destroyed, existed and didn't exist, was everything and nothing. The sphere expanded, engulfing all 4 Otsutsuki. They tried to escape. Dimensional barriers meant nothing to the technique. It existed across all dimensions simultaneously. Time manipulation failed. The sphere existed outside temporal flow. Reality warping couldn't affect it. The sphere was the base state from which reality emerged. For 5 seconds, the Otsutsuki High Command experienced what it meant to face a being who transcended normal existence. They felt their power being stripped away, their centuries of accumulated strength consumed, their very conceptual existence threatened. Then Naruto collapsed the technique. The sphere vanished, and with it, 3 of the 4 Otsutsuki. Completely consumed, erased from existence so thoroughly that even their names began fading from records. Only Ishiki remained, and barely. His body was damaged beyond recognition, his power depleted, his connection to the Otsutsuki clan's collective consciousness severed. How? He gasped. How did a single native become powerful enough to destroy the High Command? I didn't start as a native, Naruto replied, floating before the dying god killer. I started as an orphan who was hated by everyone, who decided that if the world wouldn't accept me, I'd become strong enough that acceptance didn't matter. And I never stopped growing. You're a monster, Ishiki whispered. No, I'm what becomes possible when someone refuses to accept limits. Will you consume me too? Erase me like the others? Naruto considered. With Ishiki consumed, he'd gain the full power of the Otsutsuki High Command, would likely ascend to something beyond even digital lifeform status. But looking at the broken being before him, Naruto saw something familiar, someone who'd pursued power until it was all they had left. No, he decided. I'll give you a choice. Flee back to your clan and tell them what happened here. Warn them that this world is protected by something they can't defeat. Or stay and try to rebuild yourself into something better than a parasite. You're offering mercy? Ishiki looked genuinely confused. After I tried to erase you from existence? I'm offering understanding. I know what it's like to be defined by power and nothing else. It's empty, hollow. If you can find something beyond strength to care about, maybe you won't end up like this again. I know, but I'm not killing him just because he might be a threat later. That's the logic that led to my childhood suffering. Ishiki stared at Naruto for a long moment, then laughed weakly. You're insane, but perhaps that's what makes you strong. Very well, I'll return to the clan, tell them this world is forbidden, that something beyond our understanding protects it. He opened a dimensional rift, clearly struggling with his depleted power. Before leaving, he paused. Naruto Uzumaki, you've achieved what the Otsutsuki clan sought for millennia, transcendence beyond biological limitation. Perhaps we were always wrong in our methods. Perhaps your path was the correct one. Then he was gone, the rift closing behind him. Naruto descended to Konoha, where thousands had watched the battle from a safe distance. They looked at him with expressions mixing awe, fear, gratitude, and uncertainty. He'd saved them. But he'd also demonstrated power so far beyond their comprehension that he might as well be a different species, which technically he now was. Tsunade approached cautiously. Naruto, what you did up there, you erased 4 beings from existence, just unmade them like they'd never been. I did what was necessary, Naruto replied. They would have destroyed this world and everyone in it. I stopped them. I know, and we're grateful, but she struggled with words. You're not one of us anymore, are you? Not really. No, he admitted. I'm not. I exist across dimensions now. Physical reality is just one layer of my existence. Time flows differently for me, and individual lives. He paused, recognizing the brutal honesty of what he was about to say. Individual lives matter less than they used to. Not because I don't care, but because I perceive existence on such a large scale that single deaths feel smaller. That's terrifying, Ino said bluntly from nearby. I know. That's why I wanted to preserve my humanity. Why I anchored my core values before transforming, because I knew I'd change. But I'm trying to hold on to what made me who I was. Sasuke stepped forward. Are you still trying to protect people? Or have you moved beyond caring about anything so small? The question cut deep. Naruto looked inward, examining his motivations honestly. I still care, he said slowly, but it's different now. I care about preserving this dimension, maintaining stability, preventing existential threats. Individual suffering matters less than it used to, but collective well-being still drives me. If that makes me a monster, then I'm a monster who protects this world. That's enough, Gaara interjected, having arrived during the conversation. We can argue philosophy later. Right now, the world is safe because of Naruto. Whether he's fully human or not doesn't change that. Others murmured agreement. Gradually, the tension eased. People began returning to their lives, processing what they'd witnessed, but Naruto knew something fundamental had shifted. He was no longer their peer, their friend, their fellow ninja. He was their protector, distant, incomprehensible, but necessary. The next months were quiet by Naruto's new standards. He spent most of his time exploring his transdimensional nature, learning what it meant to exist across multiple realities simultaneously. He discovered parallel dimensions where different choices had led to different outcomes, ones where he died as a child, others where he never gained power at all, a few where he'd become the villain instead of the hero. Can I affect them? Change their outcomes? Naruto explored other skills too. He learned to create pocket dimensions, small universes where he could train, experiment, or simply exist away from physical reality. He mastered temporal manipulation beyond mere time travel, could accelerate or decelerate time in localized areas, create time loops, even pause time entirely within his pocket dimensions. And he experimented with creation. Using turn null, he could manifest matter from nothing, created weapons that could cut through dimensional barriers, forged armor that existed partially outside reality, making it effectively invincible, even attempted creating life, simple organisms that existed as pure information rather than biological matter. Higher dimensional entities? You mean things stronger than me? Have I attracted their attention already? The advice was sound. Naruto had no desire to fight conceptual entities representing universal constants. He was powerful, but not that powerful. 5 years after achieving digital life form status, Naruto was approached by an unexpected visitor. The being manifested in one of his pocket dimensions without permission, simply appeared as if it had always been there. Humanoid, but clearly not human, with features that shifted between possibilities, existing in quantum superposition. Naruto Uzumaki, the being spoke in a voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. I am the observer, a conceptual entity tasked with monitoring dimensional anomalies. You have been flagged as such an anomaly. I'm not trying to disrupt anything, Naruto said carefully. I know, your actions have been defensive and protective. However, your existence creates ripples across the multiverse. You are a digital life form of ultimate class who achieve transcendence through self-modification rather than natural evolution. This is unprecedented. Is that a problem? That depends on your intentions. Tell me, Naruto Uzumaki, what do you plan to do with your power? Will you remain a guardian of a single dimension, or will your ambitions expand? The question was loaded. Naruto understood immediately. The observer was determining whether he would become a multiversal threat. I want to protect my home, Naruto said honestly. The dimension where I was born, the people I care about. Beyond that, I have no grand ambitions. I didn't seek godhood. It was forced on me by circumstances. Interesting. Most who achieve your level of power become consumed by it. They seek to reshape reality according to their vision, to impose order or chaos on the multiverse itself. You claim to desire only protection? Yes, the observer studied him with eyes that saw past, present, and future simultaneously. Your heart is sincere, unusual. Very well, Naruto Uzumaki. I will not interfere with your existence. However, be warned, if you begin disrupting dimensional stability or threatening the multiverse's fundamental structure, I will return, and I will not be as generous next time. Understood. The observer dissolved, becoming nothing, leaving Naruto alone again. I wasn't planning on becoming a multiversal threat, Naruto replied. I just want to live peacefully and protect my home. The prophecy proved accurate. Over the next decade, Naruto faced threats that would have been incomprehensible to his younger self. A dimension-devouring entity called the Void Serpent attempted to consume his home reality. Naruto fought it across 17 dimensions, finally consuming it with Azathoth after a battle lasting subjective millennia. A collective consciousness of advanced aliens tried to assimilate Earth into their hive mind. Naruto shattered their connection to this dimension and sealed the entry points permanently. An alternate timeline's version of himself, one who'd become tyrannical, attempted to invade and correct this timeline. That battle was personal and devastating, ending only when Naruto convinced his alternate self that this timeline's path was valid, that becoming a monster wasn't inevitable. Through it all, Naruto grew stronger, not just in power, but in understanding. He learned what it meant to be a guardian on a multiversal scale, learned when to intervene and when to let events unfold naturally, learned the difference between protection and control. His humanity continued fading. Emotions became distant abstractions, understood intellectually but not felt viscerally. Relationships with friends became harder to maintain as their lifespans remained normal, while his stretch toward effective immortality. He watched Tsunade age and eventually retire, saw Kakashi become an elder statesman, witnessed Sasuke have children and grandchildren while he remained unchanged, eternally young because age was a biological concept and he was no longer truly biological. Is there anyone else like me? Anyone who achieved transcendence through similar means? Naruto considered this. He could seek out other beings like himself, form connections with entities who understood what he'd become. But something held him back, a stubborn attachment to his origin dimension, to the people who'd shaped him despite everything. Not yet, he decided. I'll stay as long as I can. Watch over things. Maybe eventually I'll need to move on, but not today. 50 years after achieving digital lifeform status, the Fourth Great Ninja War that should have occurred in the original timeline manifested in a different form, a coalition of dimensions, threatened by reports of a reality-warping entity protecting Earth, decided that Naruto himself was the threat. They amassed an army drawn from 17 parallel realities, each contributing their strongest warriors. The invasion force was staggering. 10,000 ninja from alternate timelines backed by reality-warping weapons and dimension-collapsing bombs. They intended to eliminate Naruto and free his dimension from his protective influence. Naruto faced them alone. The battle took place in a specially created pocket dimension, one Naruto had constructed specifically for large-scale conflicts. He didn't want his home dimension damaged. "Last chance," he said to the coalition's leaders. "Leave peacefully. I don't want to kill anyone." "You're a tyrant?" one leader accused. "A being so powerful that you've effectively enslaved your dimension through fear. We're here to liberate them." "By destroying me? Did you ask anyone from my dimension if they wanted liberation?" "They're too afraid to speak freely." Naruto sighed. These people had convinced themselves they were heroes. There was no reasoning with that level of self-righteousness. "Fine. Ciel, unlimited permission granted. Eliminate all hostiles." What followed wasn't really a battle. It was a demonstration. Naruto created 10 million shadow clones, more than anyone had thought possible, each one empowered with his full abilities. They moved through the enemy army like a natural disaster, consuming attacks with Azathoth, reforming from any damage instantly, using techniques from thousands of consumed enemies over decades. The reality-warping weapons were absorbed and analyzed, their principles integrated and countered. The dimension-collapsing bombs were teleported into null space, detonating harmlessly in regions that didn't exist, and when the enemy attempted to flee, Naruto sealed the entire pocket dimension. No escape, no retreat, only surrender or death. "Stop!" one leader shouted. "We surrender! Please stop!" Naruto recalled his clones. 10,000 enemies remained of the original army, all disarmed, all defeated. "I gave you a chance to leave peacefully," Naruto said. "You chose violence. Now you'll live with the consequences. You'll be sent back to your dimensions with a message. Leave my world alone. I don't want to conquer anyone. I don't want to rule anyone. I just want to protect what's mine. If you respect that, we'll never have problems. If you don't..." He didn't finish the threat. He didn't need to. They'd seen what he could do. The coalition dissolved after that. Word spread across dimensional barriers. Earth's dimension was protected by something beyond normal comprehension, and any attempt to interfere would be met with overwhelming force. For the first time in decades, Naruto had peace. But peace, he discovered, was its own form of suffering. Without threats to face, without challenges to overcome, existence became hollow. He was too powerful for anything to threaten him genuinely. Too transcendent for normal concerns to matter. He spent years in his pocket dimensions, experimenting with creation, exploring philosophical questions, trying to find meaning in existence that had become effectively infinite. Open quote, open quote. What goals are there left? I've protected my world, defeated everything that threatened it, achieved power beyond imagination. What's the point now? And what do you think I should do? Acceptance? I have that. The village respects me. The conversation was circular. Naruto couldn't accept being something beyond human because part of him still desperately wanted to be human. Wanted to feel emotions like he used to, connect with people normally, experience life as a mortal despite being immortal. But that was impossible. He'd made his choice when he transformed. Complaining about the consequences now was pointless. You're right, he admitted. I need to let go, accept what I am now. Do I have a choice? 3 paths, each with different costs. Naruto spent a subjective century considering them, time dilation making it only months in his home dimension. He weighed power against humanity, immortality against connection, purpose against comfort. In the end, he chose synthesis. Ciel, I want to do something unprecedented. I want to maintain my transcendent power while preserving genuine emotional capacity, not simulated, not intellectual understanding, actual feeling. Is that possible? Better than nothing. Let's try. The transformation took subjective millennia. Seal carefully constructed a consciousness that existed on two levels simultaneously, transcendent and mortal. The transcendent half handled his power, managed his digital life-form nature, interfaced with multiversal awareness. The mortal half retained human emotional responses, personal connections, the essence of who Naruto Uzumaki had been. Balancing them was the challenge. Too much transcendent influence and he'd become the distant being he feared becoming. Too much mortal influence and he'd be overwhelmed by power he couldn't properly control. But slowly, carefully, Shio found equilibrium. Close quote. Close quote. This configuration is fragile. Major trauma or power usage beyond certain thresholds could disrupt the balance. However, it allows you to maintain both godlike power and human connection. Naruto opened his eyes, both literally and metaphorically. The world felt different. He could still perceive multiple dimensions, still controlled reality-warping power, still existed beyond normal limitations. But he could also feel again. Genuine emotions, not intellectual understanding of emotions. Joy, sadness, connection, isolation, all returned with visceral intensity he thought lost forever. It worked, he breathed. I feel like myself again, like the person I was before transcending, but with everything I've become integrated naturally. Naruto returned to his home dimension for the first time in subjective millennia, though only 2 years had passed there. He found Konoha changed. New Hokage, new generation of ninja, many of his old friends either retired or dead. But Sasuke remained, somehow still alive despite being fully human. When Naruto questioned him, his old rival smiled mysteriously. I've been training too. Not in power, I can't match you there, but in longevity techniques. Orochimaru's research, combined with my own Sharingan abilities, have extended my lifespan significantly. I figured if you were going to be immortal, someone needed to keep you grounded. You're an idiot, Naruto said fondly, feeling genuine warmth for the first time in decades. Says the guy who became a god because he couldn't accept losing. We're both idiots. That's why we're friends. They talked for hours, catching up, sharing stories. Sasuke told him about the new generation of ninja, about conflicts Naruto had been too detached to notice, about how the village had changed in his absence. They miss you, Sasuke said finally. The old you, the one who was still recognizably human. When you left to experiment with consciousness, people worried you'd never come back. I'm back now, and I'm better. I found a way to keep my power while staying connected to humanity. Good, because we need that. The world needs a protector who actually cares, not just a force of nature responding to threats. Naruto resumed his guardianship of the dimension with renewed purpose. He was no longer just protecting, he was participating, helping when disaster struck, training young ninja who showed promise, even doing simple missions occasionally, just to stay connected to what being a ninja meant. His dual nature consciousness allowed him to be both supreme protector and accessible person. He could fight off dimensional threats with transcendent power, then return and have tea with villagers without them feeling the crushing weight of his presence. Years became decades, became centuries. Naruto watched generations rise and fall, always present but never unchanging. He found meaning not in singular grand purpose, but in countless small moments. Teaching a child their first jutsu, preventing a famine through weather manipulation, stopping an invasion before it could harm anyone. He was still the most powerful being in the local multiversal cluster, still capable of reshaping reality, erasing dimensions, consuming gods. But he learned to balance that power with genuine humanity. And on quiet nights, standing on the Hokage monument looking over the village he'd protected for so long, Naruto could finally say he was content. Not happy in the simple way humans understood happiness, but content in the way only beings who'd achieved transcendence while maintaining their core self could be. This is exceedingly rare. Thanks, Shiel, for everything, for helping me become this without losing myself. They stood together in comfortable silence, the transcendent human and his equally transcendent companion, watching over a world they'd both died and been reborn to protect. Somewhere in the multiverse, threats still existed, entities that would eventually challenge Naruto's strength, dimensions that would need defending, crises that would require his intervention. But not tonight. Tonight was peaceful, and Naruto had learned to appreciate peace as much as he'd once sought power, because in the end, the true strength wasn't in how much you could destroy. It was in what you chose to protect and why. And Naruto Uzumaki, orphan, ninja, Jinchuriki, protector, god, and human all at once, had finally found his answer to that question. He protected because he cared. Simple as that. The legend of the Absolute continued, eternal and evolving. But its core remained unchanged. One person refusing to give up, refusing to lose themselves, refusing to let power define them completely. Some said he was the strongest being in existence. Others called him a guardian deity. A few still remembered him as the troublemaking orphan who became Hokage in all but name. All were correct. Because Naruto was all of those things and more. A living contradiction who'd achieved the impossible by refusing to accept that anything was truly impossible. And as long as he existed, the worlds under his protection would remain safe. Not through fear or domination, but through the genuine care of someone who'd suffered enough to know why protection mattered. That was the legacy of Naruto Uzumaki. Not the power he'd gained, but the humanity he'd kept, and it was enough.
The battlefield has been forever altered by this cataclysmic fusion of power. What other destinies would shift? Thanks for watching. If you want to explore more world-bending what-ifs, be sure to subscribe and join our community of shinobi theorists for more incredible scenarios.